The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
What's up, guys? Just a minute. Just got stuff. Alrighty then, guys. There we go. I had to just do that. I just had to get Grace up there. What's up, guys? Hope you're all having a good Thursday evening. Or maybe it's Friday where you are. I don't know. You all live in different parts of the world. So, yeah. Hope you're all having a good Thursday, maybe Friday morning. Welcome to the Dissect, presented by AWO, Aaron Will Order, a channel where I go over Chicken Lady, where I go over YouTubers, articles, basically it. News, I guess. And as you know, I watch, read, analyze, give my thoughts, opinions, and fact check, and call things that I smell BS on. And so, yeah, that's the dissecting. Basically, it's a synonym for analyzing, right? Right. All right, hey. Okay, guys, so we're going to do a double feature tonight. Now, let's let you know, on this stream, we're not going to do anything from today, from Grace Randolph's stream today, or Jean Campea's stream from today. So we're not going to talk about. Well, we're going to talk about one video from today. It's not the Fantastic Four stuff. It's actually the Supergirl stuff. I think we're going to go over that. And let you know in advance, I have not watched the streams. The stream we're going to go over with Grace Randolph from a day ago, not her newest stream today. Her newest stream today, I don't feel like it's anything that worth going over unless somebody finds me something interesting she says in that stream. And also, yeah. And nothing from Campea. But we're going to go over some. So we're going to go from what Grace said about Last of Us and Star Wars. From Campea's side of things, we're going to go over a video we made about Supergirl casting rumors and what he said about Thunderbolts, Sentry replacing Stephen Ewan's, who could replace it. And we're not going to go over his Kratos. I did as a video. I'm not going to go over his Kratos casting suggestion. You know how much he roasted himself. He kind of roasted himself there. I don't know if he was being serious or not in that video. Honestly, I don't know if he was being serious or not. I think he was being serious in that Kratos video. He just roasted himself, but I also contributed to him mostly. I mean, I made it even worse. But that was like, honestly, on Twitter, on YouTube, all that stuff, on all these social media platforms, we hear some really, really weird, stupid casting suggestions, right? Casting suggestions, who should play who. I gotta say Kratos. Him saying Triple H as Kratos, Paul Levick as Kratos might be hyperbolically. This is hyperbole here. Might be the number one stupidest casting suggestion I ever saw on all social media in my years on YouTube or on X or on Instagram or Facebook. That has if it's not number one, at least top three. Okay. And I think Degrassi would probably agree with me that that's probably one of the worst casting suggestions ever. I know there's a lot of people. But okay. I actually gotta go bathroom again. I'll be right back. I am back from the dead. No, I'm kidding. Let me check Campea for a second again, before we officially start. So from our stream today, I'll most likely make videos on. Most likely make a video on from his stream today. Okay? Some, except for Supergirl stuff, we're gonna go over in the stream. But I guess the Precious Pascal, I don't think I'm gonna make the Precious Pascal talk about that. That's just stuff is not officially confirmed. Yes, he left a movie to open up a schedule, but I most likely leaves the door for Fantastic Four the film in Q3 of this year. That's July to September, that time period. But you got to remember, he might be in season 3 of Last of Us. I know his character dies, but don't surprise if he's also in the 3rd season. And I'm not sure. I think HBO said they might film Last of Us season 2 and 3 back to back. Maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. Be cautious about that. Yeah, they already started shooting Last of Us season 2. They just started, yeah. And we got a casting. We got a new casting for Dina. I forgot to mention that. Isabel Merced, who's well, she's making kind of a way into these pop culture kind of franchises, right? Fortunately, she's going to be in Madam Reb. Yeah, Hot Girl, but she's going to be in Madam Reb, unfortunately, sadly. And she's going to be Hot Girl in Superman Legacy. Well, she'll be playing Dina in Last of Us season 2. As you know, my friend Blind said yesterday, he was curious who's going to play Dina on my main channel, my pop culture channel. You can see the description down below. And I hope it comes on. Maybe I'll ask him for his brief thoughts on the Dina casting, because I know he wants to talk about this. But yeah. So I think we're gonna start with Grace Randolph. This is from her stream. First 2 segments of her stream, which talks about Mandalorian and the casting of Abby for Last of Us, Caitlin Devers. And we're not gonna talk about her 3rd segment, which is the Golden Globe viewership. That's not important to me. I don't think it's really important to the fans of Golden Globe viewership. It's important to the CBS. I think it's important to CBS. And I'll just say this: yes, the viewership went up for 50%. But it was a train wreck of a show. And now people tune into. Let's be honest, people tune into the award shows not to see how good it's going to be, but to see how much of a train wreck they are going to be, and just lived up to it. And just say this: the Emmys are crazy. The award show for the Emmys is crazy to go up against Monday Night Football playoffs next Monday. They're nuts. I know they had to move the schedule because of the strike, so they moved it to the January. But seriously, I think they should move to the Monday after. They should have moved to the Monday after, because they're going to get crushed. You know they're going to get crushed by Monday Night Football. And because it's football, man. It's freaking huge in America. They're going to get crushed. And it's a playoff game. Yeah, it's not the most sexy game? Like Philadelphia and Tampa Bay, but it's still freaking playoffs. They could have waited to the next Monday, because there will be a playoff Monday game. Because you go remember in the NFL now, they added a 7th seed, right? Okay. And I just gotta say one more thing about football. This is I guess technically I could dissect the NFL. Having a game on Peacock is a bad idea. A lot of people are shitting on it. A lot of people, I'll tell you one thing, money. But a lot of sports fans do not like sporting events on streaming services. They prefer to watch it on cable. They do not like it on streaming services. Okay? I'll just say that. It's a bad idea. I can tell you one thing. Baseball, it's not playoff baseball. Baseball has tried so hard to make it work on Facebook, YouTube, now Apple. And I look at the Apple broadcast. I'm like, Apple broadcast is terrible for baseball. And it's terrible. I'd rather watch sports on my regular cable network than on a streaming service. Than on Peacock, than on Netflix, than on Disney Plus. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm sorry. I think it's better in that way. Sports, I know people like PVR sports games, but sports are better live and on a bigger screen than a computer. I mean, you obviously could go on your apps on a TV. It's just that it doesn't work for sports. A lot of people do not like watching sports on a streaming service. Yeah, I understand. All right. Now, where is everybody? Where is my partners in crime? Oh, yeah. Degrassi, as you know, we're legally allowed now to talk about the Suicide Squad video game. I'm not going to do it here, but we're now allowed to talk about the game. And you know why we're allowed to talk about the game? Because supposedly the negative reviews from gaming websites. So they're like, they say like, you know what? We'll let the fans decide how good a game is. So yeah, we're legally allowed, if you play with the closed beta, we're legally allowed now to talk about the game. Okay. So let's get the face of YouTube, or one of the faces. We're gonna, oh yeah, this is her, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go with Grace. We're gonna start with Grace. All right, let's do it.
Stories. Tom Cruise just signed a development deal with Warner Brothers. It's not an exclusive. He's still working. He still has a deal at Paramount, but he will be working with Warner Brothers as well. So nice job, Zazzy.
Nice job, Zazzy.
Thank you so much for joining me today for today's really hot live stream. My goodness, so many stories, and it's great to be able to cover them quickly as they're breaking. That's one of the, I think, the benefits of the streams. So, oh, hey, 80s model, thank you for gifting a membership. So yes, hey, Franco, oh, look, 5 memberships. So kind of you. I really appreciate your generosity. As I said, that's always the best way to support this channel, because you not only support the channel, but somebody else benefits from it as well. If you would like a gifted membership, be sure to turn on, be sure to say you accept gifted memberships. I think it's a button somewhere down there. Hey, Danny, thanks for gifting a membership. And then the more that the more that you interact with the channel, being a subscriber, being a member in the past, leaving comments, liking the video, the more likely you are to get one of those gifted memberships. Thank you, Rashad. Thank you, Not Modern Art. Thank you, Tammy. You guys are so sweet. And the first stream of every week, I gift 5 memberships myself. All right. So the way this always goes is that please try to keep your comments and questions, be they super chat or not, till the end of each story, because that.
Oh, Degrassi. I used to have a legal satellite back in the day. Yeah, I used to have a legal satellite.
That's when I'll be addressing them. You're more than welcome to put them into the
free channels, free pay-per-view,
but I
free everything, man. Oh yeah,
just take that risk. And then, of course, as always, at the end of every stream, there's a 10-minute Ask Me Anything. As for upcoming videos, tomorrow's a big day. I'll be doing a spoiler review of Echo, and then also I'll be reviewing Mean Girls. But I won't be able to make the Mean Girls embargo because it's just too fast to turn around. I'm seeing it tonight. The embargo lifts at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and I have to, so these videos. It's going to be tough to do these videos back to back. Hey, Steven, thanks for gifting.
No, it isn't.
All right, Gilberto, I'm glad you made it to the second live stream of the year. I love it. All right, everybody. Here we go. I got lots of graphics too. It's going to
Here
be so
we
much
go.
fun. All right, story number 1. Boop. I was like, what the heck am I going to put in today's live stream? I need thanks, Tom. I need like a big story. It was just going to be Golden Globes viewership and that Jacob Elordi Frankenstein story. And I was like, oh man, I don't have a big lead story. And now I've got 2 because as you guys are saying, it's raining news today. Hey, Ian. All right, so this big Pedro Pascal day, by the way, as you can see, he applies to both the first and second story. He might have hurt his arm. He might have lost the Golden Globe, but his career is.
Why? How did Pedro Pascal hurt himself on set? What happened to his How? Why was he in a sling? What did he do? Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Uh, he was stretching his arm. I was like, what did Pedro Pascal do? What did he do to his? Why was his arm in a sling? Coming blind and coming, buddy. We haven't really started yet. We just started to come in. Yeah, they did. They did. But do you think he injured himself ready filming now? Eat, and come on. Eat and stream. You did it last night. You know, maybe because they'll blind because you know what I want from you? When she says something outrageous, I want something outrageous happen. Say her to say or drunk happen, say something outrageous happen, and you spit out your drink. Yeah. That's why I want to get your thoughts on that too. Okay, let's go with that. I want to get your thoughts on the Dina casting.
So what's the headline? First, let's talk about
Actually,
that. So the headline is that they're making a movie. It's Star Wars.
Be right, I gotta get food too. I'm hungry. Okay, I'm back. It's what?
It's called The Mandalorian and Grogu. I like that title. Let me ask you guys what you think of the title.
Do you really think it's called? You really think the movie's gonna be called Mandalorian and Grogu?
Very much a family brand. So, what do you think of the title? Hold on. The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm gonna give you not 100%, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. Love it.
That's not gonna be the title of the film. I don't think it's gonna be the title of the film, Mandalorian Grogu. I don't think that's the title of the film. That's not a good name. I'm sorry. I don't think it's gonna be the title of the film.
It's fine. And then change it. And then I guess the 4th will be for all you Star Wars haters. I don't.
Oh.
Okay. So, by the way, even if you're not a member, only members can chat, but anyone can vote in a poll. So, if you're watching the stream right now, all you have to do is click on the poll, and you can vote and cast. And your voice can be heard in the poll. Oh, that's funny, Eric. Maybe they should call it the Daddy Lorian. Oh, that's funny.
The Daddy Lorian.
Grogu and father and son. Star Wars style.
Daddy Lorian.
All right, so this is a movie that's going to be produced by Jon Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, and Dave Filoni, but Jon Favreau will be directing it. So this is a brand new movie. It has nothing to do with the other movies that were recently announced. It's a 4th film, although I don't know when those other movies are getting off the ground. We're going to talk about that. So you might be wondering, I saw a number of you speculating, how the heck can Pedro Pascal do all this at once?
I'm just going to check very briefly. A Doomcock beta video. Doomcock. Oh, good lord. Yeah. Yeah, he did. You know what? I should do Doomcock too on this channel. Make him look an idiot. Yeah, I think I might do Doomcock. I know he does Star Wars stuff only, so. But yeah.
How can he do The Last of Us season 2, the Gladiator 2, although that's already been filming? How's he going to do, potentially maybe Fantastic Four and Mandalorian? Well, remember, he's really only voicing Mando now.
You know how
so
you
that
know
doesn't really-
you know how he's able to do it? You know how he's able to do it?
I got it.
I'll tell you he's able to do it. I'll tell you he's able
really
to do it.
involve him outside of a couple of
He
days
cloned
in the
himself.
recording booth.
Patrick
They could
Scout cloned
maybe do
himself.
maybe one helmet off scene, although they made it pretty clear that he's not supposed to take his helmet off at this point. But the other question is that maybe too much already with Disney? I mean, is he overexposed? Does that maybe hurt his chances for Reed Richards? Because everyone's already going to, he's very much still associated with The Mandalorian. Even
Overexposed? 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 That's not a word. That's not really something in. There's no such thing as overexposure in Hollywood. Okay? When you're being at least casted or being potentially being wanted, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Overexposure is a good thing, wouldn't you think? It means they want you. Overexposure. Why? That's not a good thing. That is a good thing. What is she talking about? Overexposure is good. Is Scarlett Johansson overexposed? Is Margot Robbie overexposed? Margot Robbie has been in a lot of things the past 2 or 3 years. Scarlett Johansson's been in a lot of film this year. I don't know. It's overexposed. What the hell is she talking about? It's like if you're claiming to be overexposed, it means they want you. They want you. They want you. They want you. Do you know how you don't get over? You know what happens? What happens to an actor and actress when that overexposure ends? Not all of them, but when a movie bombs, consistently bombs. One movie after another bombs, they have a consistency. Each movie to take bombs and bombs and bombs and realize, look, yeah, you're not drawing, whatever. That's when you say you're done. But if you're being overexposed, that's a good thing. Good thing. Overexposed is a good thing, man, in Hollywood. It means they want you. I don't know what she's talking about. Like, what the hell is she talking about? Overexposed.
even if you can't see his face, you still hear his voice.
Exactly, Anthony.
I think that might be one issue that they would maybe take some concern for Fantastic Four. But I still think he would be good at.
Fuck. Him as Mando, him being Gladiator 2, and then him being Fantastic Four. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna care about overexposure. Nobody's gonna care. You think fans or people, whatever fans or general fans, care about overexposure? Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna care about that. I don't care if he's you think I'm gonna go in there and be like, yeah, he's overexposed because he's in all this stuff. No, I don't go in thinking like that. What's this fucking mindset? What is this mindset? Seriously. Seriously. What kind of person has this mindset? Overexposed. You know what? You know what it sounds like? It sounds like she's a hater. Sounds like a hater. Sounds like a hater, Patrick Pascal. Yeah, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Like, I don't know why that got me so heated. I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to go this heated, man. I didn't want to get heated in this stream. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if I'm a little amped up after listening to that. But like, what? Overexposed? Like, who goes thinking like that? Unless you're a hater. Only haters think like that. Yeah, there's some actresses. There's some actors who are not good actors or actresses. Maybe they're being overexposed for being. I don't know. I don't know, but like maybe there are some good actors and actresses that are not good actors, actresses, and they're being overexposed too much. There is actors and actresses who are not really good actors are being like look. I'll give you one example of a bad actress who was really overexposed. Was really overexposed. Megan Fox. She was overexposed. But but she was one of the hottest rising stars at the time. So it makes sense. It makes sense for them to cast her. Okay? It makes sense for studios to cast her. Okay? 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 I'll give you some example like that. But it doesn't overexposure for actors or actor is not a bad thing, man. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't really hurt you. It doesn't really hurt you. For them, it doesn't hurt their career. It doesn't hurt their career. Okay? But no fan goes and be like, oh my god, I see him through see him in 5 brand new films and 2 TV shows the past 2 or 3 years. So, guys, whatever. Overexposure.
In the role of Reed Richards. I think he'd be a good Reed Richards. Oh yeah, that's right, Mika. He's also in Zach Krieger's a horror film, the follow-up to Barbarian. So
Not
that's
anymore.
a lot. That's a lot. That's that's a huge amount. And then of course, Mando is also for Disney because it's Star Wars. So that's one question. We'll see how this all works out for Pedro Pascal. But he is indeed booked and busy. All right. This movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, is going to film this year in 2024. That's right. Ahsoka season 2 is being worked on by Filoni. So let's talk about that. Hold on. What the heck's going to be in a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, right? I mean, you might be like, well, will people pay to see that in theaters?
Yes.
Is it going to seem too much like a kid's movie? Is it going to seem like something you should watch on Disney Plus? I mean, that really ended up hurting the Marvels. We'll see how the Marvels does. It hits Disney Plus on January 16th. I just want to say up front, I'm extremely excited about this movie. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see it in theaters.
People will see Mando and Grogu in theaters. Grogu, right? We know Baby Yoda Grogu was a phenomenal cultural icon. To talk about when we saw Grogu for the first time, people fell in love with that character, and people couldn't stop talking about Baby Yoda Grogu. Mandalorian is the best series. It's the best series of the Disney Plus shows. Yes, I thought season 3 wasn't as good as season 2 and 1 and 2, but even though there's some good stuff about season 3, don't get me wrong, but people will see the Mandalorian. I don't think that's a crescent, not a crescent. People will see the Mandalorian, okay, the movie in Grogu, and it's not like it's the Marvels. It's not like the Marvels, okay. Because I don't think it'll be the same result as the Marvels. It's a little It's different. It's different. Okay. I'm gonna say one thing. About the Marvels. And the Miss Marvel. The reason the Miss Marvels did not do well, promotion-wise, of course, there's the strikes. A lot of people did not watch A lot of people did not watch Miss Marvel, the show. Okay, and I know you're gonna say The Mandalorian it was also on Disney Plus. Yes, it was, but it was like the first show, and not general audiences and Star Wars fans loved the show. I couldn't say the same about the Miss Marvel. I'm sorry. You know what? You know what I'm trying. You know what I'm starting to find out. I think I'm starting to find out about the Disney Plus Marvel shows. I think the hardcore fans are the one mostly watching the Disney Plus Marvel shows, not the general audience anymore. I really think the general audience is not watching the Marvel Disney Plus shows anymore. I think it's really the Marvel fans, the comic book fans. I think Star Wars might have more. Yeah, yeah. And this is true. I mean, the strike of the Marvels, the strike ended like a day or two after. You're right. I remember that. I really do think. I really do think that's an issue with the Marvel stuff. Okay, and I'm gonna say this about the MCU. Yes, there's a lot of comic book fans from 30, 40, 50 years ago, but the MCU it's kind of more catered to the younger audience. And what I mean by like, I'm not talking about like kids, but I'm talking about people from like who are around, I guess, the 10-year-olds, the teenage years from the beginning of the MCU. Okay, I guess around that, and they grew up with it, right? I don't think it's not catered to the older comic book fans, and you can see a certain fan group bitching about that, and you can say the same with Star Wars, but I think the Star Wars franchise has an older audience than Marvel, and I know Marvel's been around longer than Star Wars, but I think how the MCU and the Star Wars universe, I think is more catered to. I think Star Wars is trying to be more catered to the adult audience, even though the adults hate the stuff. Some of the older ones, where the MCU is kind of catered to the audience with the people with the younger audience that they grew up with. The MCU is catered to see the MCU will not be able to have will not the MCU right now is not getting a new audience, and I don't think Star Wars. I mean, right? And you were hoping, why is a Skywalker we're getting a new audience? The MCU is not getting a new audience. They're not getting a younger audience. Okay? Because they're struggling right now. So it's yin and yang with Marvel and Star Wars. Yes, they're owned by the same company, but still yin and yang. It's still the opposite. I could be speaking out of my ass here. Speaking out of my ass, bullshitting here, maybe my takes, but I want to know somebody who's older. Like I want to know like somebody like Degrassi's point of view or something like that. But like, yeah,
theaters. And I think a lot of people would, because even the casuals that I know, even though they don't actually watch The Mandalorian, they love Grogu, or as they still refer to him as Baby Yoda. So I think that I hope that the movie can be seen even if you've never watched a single episode of The Mandalorian. Then I think I can see a lot of people being like, I'd love to see.
Okay. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. What if some of the stuff from the first 3 seasons affect the movie? Okay. What if you have to know stuff from the first 3 seasons to have a better understanding of the movie? Okay. That's also maybe one of my criticisms about the Marvel. It obviously could be a criticism here if they obviously. From the Marvels, you have to watch specifically 2 shows for that, right? And I guess Secret Invasion to an extent, but because of Nick Fury. But you have to watch WandaVision and you have to watch a Miss Marvel show. WandaVision, obviously, because of how Captain Monica Rambeau got her photon, got her powers, right? She explained in the movie how she got her powers. So Witch's Hacks, right? From Scarlet Witch, Wanda. Miss Marvel, she had her own show and how she's able to do it, how she became Miss Marvel. And I'm like I said, a lot of people probably watch WandaVision more than Miss Marvel because it was really the first big Marvel show. It was the big first Marvel property like to come out because of the pandemic. Remember, Marvel had nothing in 2020, right? But that was really the first big thing to come out in 2021. So obviously, people were dying for content. All right, and the biggest thing before that was Wonder Woman 84, and you know how that did. So that was like the biggest. It was dying for content then, right? I think Mandalorian came shortly after. Or it might have come at the same time. For Miss Marvel, I can tell you one thing. Miss Marvel was not as big as people thought it was. Was not as big. Okay? So, yeah. A lot of things really did hurt the Marvel. Yeah, exactly. Continue.
Grogu, as SMR Goose just said. I'd love to see Grogu on the silver screen, eat my popcorn, kick back in a recliner, and have a fizzy drink. For me these days, it's carbonated water. Yum! But I think that there's definitely something there. But maybe not everybody will agree. I think that, again, audiences are fractured. The audience is fractured these days, and a smaller number of people. That's a good question, Rashad. Let's close the current poll and then do a new poll. All right, so let me close this poll. 34% of you think the title is fine. 24% of you want it to be changed. 22% of you love it. And 18% of you don't care.
Okay.
So I'd say the positive, if we add the 34 of it's fine and the 22% of love it, that's about 50, a little like 60%. That's pretty good. I think it's fine. I like that title. I like that title a lot, actually. All right, so let me do the new poll. All right. Will you see The Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters?
Yes.
We'll call it M and G.
Yes, for me. Yep.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Need to see a trailer.
Is he gonna do the combined shit again?
Wait for Disney Plus. Or we'll say digital as well. And then I'm not, no Star Wars for me right now. Okay. So you can vote in that poll. Again, anyone who's watching can vote in the poll. So, but here's the question. Who's going to be? That's another thing that I think will really be a factor as to whether or not people are willing to see this in theaters. Who's in the movie? All these shows, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and Ahsoka, are all the same universe. Like, for instance, I was looking for the poster with Luke Skywalker in it. Digital.
Yeah, they're all the same universe. So is Return of the Jedi, so is A New Hope, so is the Empire Strikes Back, so is Solo, so is Rogue One, so is Rise of Skywalker, so is The Last Jedi, so is Clone War and all that stuff, so is Revenge of the Sith. They're all the same universe.
Luke Skywalker. And I was like, what season of Mando was he in again?
2.
Then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Book of Boba Fett was basically Mandalorian 2.5. So I think, like,
Luke ain't gonna
again,
be in it.
Anybody here is fair game. Maybe not, Anakin, because he's very much in Ahsoka's world. And Ahsoka, she can still show up. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm hearing, okay?
Okay.
I hear that the Ahsoka, so Ahsoka season 2 is taking up Dave Filoni's time right
George
now.
Blyden, here
And
it comes.
I'm hearing that the Filoni movie will be the big Thrawn film, Heir to the Empire. So that's going to obviously have to be after Ahsoka season 2. So that movie's far away. So that's going to be dealing here. We got Thrawn and Ezra. That's going to be, Dave Filoni's movie off of it.
Grace, I hate to break it to you, but you're not the first to know that.
Ahsoka season 2. So I guess what you're really looking at here, I think Giancarlo Esposito is dead, Sion. I'm pretty sure his character died in that fireball. I think that anyone who was in Book of Boba Fett, I would find a way to bring Luke back, to be honest with you. All the Mando characters, maybe Bo-Katan, more of that.
I think Bo-Katan will be in it.
But they got to have someone good in there. They got maybe Obi-Wan could show up. Maybe we could find a way. He'd be much older, I guess, at this point.
Grace. Obi-Wan is dead. Obi-Wan Kenobi is dead. This is after Return of the Jedi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is dead. Did she forget that? Or, like, seriously, Obi-Wan Kenobi is dead. See? I mean, he can come back in a Force Ghost technically, but she's speaking like a physical form, right? Oh my god, you know he's dead, right? He would look like a zombie, Blinded. He might look like a zombie. Wait a minute. Blinded. His body's not even there, remember? Like, disappeared when he died. His body disappeared. Right? It's so weird. I don't know, Blinded. You know what I should have told her to chat? I want to see the chat for a second. Let me see the chat for a second. Did anybody say she's dead? Let me see. Is there a chat here? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, but she's dead.
But no, he died, right? Ah, darn it. His Force Ghost. But I'd be like, let's just try and find. I mean, you need somebody who's going to be like, oh, I need to see this in theaters. Oh, look, you guys are already ahead of Obi-Wan is dead. That's right. But he could be a ghost.
Yes, I mean, the correct
Anakin's dead. He's running around saying hi to everybody.
Who?
So I think died, right? Ah, darn it. His Force Ghost. But I'd be like, let's just try and find. I mean, you need somebody who you're going to be like, oh, I need to see this in theaters. Oh, look, you guys are already ahead of Obi-Wan is dead. That's right. But he could be a ghost. I mean, Anakin's dead. He's running around saying hi to everybody. So I think, Ewan McGregor, will do anything.
Yeah, but the Force Ghosts, they do not fight.
You could do see through Ewan McGregor, and it would be great. So let's see what they decide to do. But that's what I'm hearing.
Here's the thing. Obi-Wan will not fit in the Mandoverse. I'm sorry. He does not fit in the universe. Sorry, no. Even if he is a Force Ghost, does not work.
So the Filoni movie is building off of Ahsoka, season 1 and season 2, but let's see what they decide to do.
Oh shit, Einstein.
What will be the area for Mando? I agree with Sok Lee. I mean, I think it really needs Luke. I think Luke really needs to be in there. And I thought they did a good job with Luke. Oh yeah. It's Cal Kestis. That's who I'm agreeing with. Doc Hayes. Cal Kestis would be great. I would definitely.
Maybe they can't even clone. They can't even clone Obi-Wan because his body's not there.
Cal Kestis is in the video games, and it's basically that actor who played Joker on Gotham. He does that character, and he looks exactly like him. And so I think that would be fantastic. I mean, that would really be a big deal. Oh yeah, Ventress.
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. His most famous role is Joker in Gotham. No, actually, his most famous role. His most famous role is from Shameless. Actually, it's from Shameless. Yeah, he's well known for Joker in Gotham. I guess more recent people realize that, but we'll know that. But he's actually more well known from Shameless, the HBO show with Emily Rossum and so on. Yeah, and Jerry Allen White, who is finally after Jerry Allen White is finally becoming a huge star. Shameless. That's true.
Riley Steele.
I mean, it is space fantasy, right? It is space fantasy, Degrassi.
I'm fully in, some of the Bad Batch guys, right? I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm super into the Filoni animated verse now, so I'm getting excited about all this. But I think a lot of casuals aren't that big into it. Is Ventress also dead? They killed off a lot of cool people. But I mean, maybe she had a sister. This is Ventress's sister. I don't want to hear about it. All right. So let me see how the vote is going. Then we have one other thing to address on this story. All right. So will you see Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters? 42% already say heck yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
25% of you need to see a trailer. 20% of you are boycotting Star Wars right now. That's significant. That's how many people aren't going to the movies. As we recently discussed, Hollywood has lost 1 in 5 moviegoers, which is 20% post-pandemic. So that's about the same. And I mean,
is that true,
I'm sure they're
Degrassi?
going to shoot this thing on the volume, so it would probably be pretty cost-effective. And then 12 of you, only 12% will wait for digital plus. That's great. But only 12% of you would want to wait to watch it at home. I mean, most of you would be interested in seeing this in the theater. I would agree with that. I think that's very, very strong. Now, here's the other thing where it gets interesting. So there are 3 Star Wars directors who were announced at Star Wars Celebration. Remember?
Nope. Of course I do.
Sok Lee, Jon Favreau is directing this movie, just like he directed several episodes of The Mandalorian. Don't underestimate Jon Favreau as a movie director, though. He has made
Stop
lots of money for
Degrassi.
Disney in the
20% of movie
space.
crews
And
died
of
from the
course, not only did
pandemic.
the Iron Man movies,
Wow.
and he went on to do Jungle Book, and then he did incredible work with The Lion King. So he really, I mean, if I were Disney, I'd be like, hey, John, what do you feel like doing? And I would let him do it. So very, very strong. And yeah, of course, Chris Hardy, he also, of course, is behind Elf, one of the most iconic holiday movies of all time. All right, so there's Kathleen Kennedy. I gotta tell you, it's looking to me like Kathleen Kennedy ain't going nowhere. I mean, especially Dave Filoni is now like her right hand. You know, he's her advisor.
I could have told you that she was going nowhere. I think it was obvious. Anybody tell you that she was going somewhere after Indiana Jones? Oh, she's leaving. Nope.
And he's like, I advise you to give me more.
Doomcock and Mike Zero were all saying she was leaving. Remember every time? Yeah.
Movies, and she's like, okay. So I think like somebody needs to run the business aspects of the company.
That's dark, Degrassi.
And
that's
I think
dark.
that she's going to keep herself alive with announcements like this because this is really strong. I mean, I hope it will be. I don't know. I mean, I think like the Mandalorian views were a little bit down with season 3. I think Ahsoka was medium. I mean, it was solid, but it was.
I'm gonna say this. Whenever Kathleen Kennedy decides to leave, retire, whenever Kathleen Kennedy decides to retire or leave, because she ain't gonna get fired, she's gonna leave on her own. Let's be honest. Dave Filoni's gonna take up her role. Dave Filoni's next in line. That's what I'm gonna say. Dave Filoni's next in line. Okay, that's it. Dave Filoni will be the next one in line. Dave Filoni is basically just a level under Kathleen Kennedy right now. So when Kathleen wants to leave, retire, leave on her own, she ain't getting fired. Unless she really does something really bad. The movies and TV show won't be the ones. If this is something really bad. But when that happens, Dave Filoni will be the one taking her role as president. I could see that happening as Lucasfilms. I think that's pretty much what's going to happen. That's what I'm going to say. Okay? And I really got to go bathroom again. This time it'll be something longer, a little bit longer. And a big dump I took. Pretty good big dump. Wasn't a big of a dump. It was fine.
Medium. So as I was saying with the Ahsoka viewership and
I remember
the show, that I feel like there are some of us who absolutely love the Filoniverse. But I feel like it's still, I think The Mandalorian was the most successful when it wasn't tied into the Filoniverse. So maybe it would be better to bring it in a different direction. I mean, I'll be curious.
wasn't tied into the Filoniverse. Uh, did you watch season two? It wasn't big of a up. Yeah. Did you watch season two? Uh, it was always The Mandalorian was the first show to be in a Filoni subverse. Okay. Um, why do you think they show Boba Fett and Ahsoka? Okay. Because they knew Boba Fett was going to get his own show, and they knew Ahsoka was going to get his own show. So Mandalorian was the beginning of the Filoni smaller universe. I have no idea what she's talking about. She's talking out of her ass again, because she hasn't been either that she's stupid or stupid Disney. Yeah, yeah. But like those two shows were always the Mandalorian was always part of Filoniverse.
Curious to see what they decide to do. You know, the Filoniverse fan in me is like, yes, expand the Filoniverse on two fronts. But maybe when I put my business hat on, I say maybe we should move the Mandalorian back into its own space and put Luke in there and stuff like that. I think that's interesting.
Also, you gotta remember Mark Hamill didn't really do those scenes. I don't know if Mark Hamill was actually happy with that though.
All right, so these are the Star Wars directors that have already been announced. And now you throw Jon Favreau in there, who's right there in that picture on the bottom. So you've got James Mangold, who's doing an early Jedi movie, basically a Western from the way it sounds. Who knows when that's going to get made? It's very far away. Dave Filoni, whose movie seems very, very far away, now that we know that it's probably going to come after Ahsoka season 2, which, by the way, he's only developing. He's not even writing and getting ready to film it. So that's how far away Ahsoka season 2 is. And then there's that female director, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who made those recent comments, which I think didn't really help the movie on some fronts that she's making. I mean, I would love to see Rey succeed and finally not have to deal with so much hate. And I would love Daisy Ridley not to be bogged down by nostalgia, by Luke, Han, and Leia, which I think really crowded her out of her own trilogy. So I would love to see this movie work out, but it didn't get off to a great start. Those weren't recent comments, Kay Walton. Oh, well, that's good. But I feel like that wasn't a great kind of like beginning for her. So we'll see though. I hope the movie's good. I know they're moving very quickly ahead on it, but I find it interesting that movie is set currently for May 2025. However, when are they going to release the Mandalorian movie? If the Mandalorian movie is filming in 2024, could technically.
I'm gonna say this: if that movie is scheduled for May 2025, it's getting Disney 2026. That's what she said. 2026. Because if it was scheduled for 2025, Disney it's gonna rework their Marvel schedule for 2025. And if the Fantastic Four can start filming in Q3 of this year, it's not making its 2025 early date release schedule. But yeah, but if it's 2026, yeah, okay, that's different. I gotta get a drink. And I was thinking, I just was thinking that while I was getting my drink. Solo came out the same year as Infinity War, right? I wonder if and Solo came out like 1 or 2 months after Solo, after Infinity War. I wonder if Infinity War hurt the box office of Solo potentially. What does Solo make? $390, yeah. For a Star Wars movie, that's not good based on a popular character. 393 million is not good on a popular character. I wonder if Infinity War did hurt that movie. And when did that come out? May 10th? May 10th? And Infinity War came out April 27th. Yeah. Okay. Disney made a stupid, terrible mistake there, releasing Solo basically 2 weeks after Infinity War. I don't know if that was Bob Iger's idea, but that was not a smart thing to do. But let's continue on.
Make that May 2025 date. And I think, it's right now that the race, I don't know where Rick Famuyiwa is, Juan. It's so sad. Rick Famuyiwa is an incredible Star Wars director, and he keeps getting shortchanged on movie opportunities. He got kicked off The Flash. He has not been able to do a Star Wars movie. Every time Rick Famuyiwa directs an episode of Disney Plus Star Wars, he knocks it out of the park. And so I would love to see Rick Famuyiwa get something for sure. But anyway, I think like Memorial Day weekend 2025, I'd kind of like to see Mando and Grogu in that release date. That's kind of what I would be interested in. Oh yeah, Peter Ramsey, Danny. He directed the best episode of Ahsoka. Peter Ramsey is an animation director who I got to interview, by the way, based on his African animation anthology on Disney Plus late last year. But Peter Ramsey knocked it out of the park with live action directing. So I think he'd be a great choice as well. But yeah, so let's see. Let's see. But I think it's all very interesting to see how this comes together. So I'm excited about the Rey movie. I wouldn't rush it. I love how you guys are just throwing out great Star Wars directors. What about Bryce Dallas Howard? These guys got to get their agents on it. They got to be like, keep giving me work, man. Although I think Peter Ramsey did a little. I like Bryce Dallas Howard a lot, but I think Peter Ramsey was a little bit stronger, and so is Rick Famuyiwa. But I would love to see Bryce Dallas Howard continue to direct Disney Plus Star Wars episodes. I don't know if she's ready for a movie. But yeah. So Greta Gerwig, you guys are so funny.
Okay.
It's another crazy stream day. Everybody's in a good mood.
Greta Gerwig should be busy at Netflix for a while.
Well, Alex says, what about Mando and Grogu for Christmas 2025? You can't do that, Alex, because Avatar 3 is coming out in December 2025. Is that right?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I
thought Avatar's coming out this year.
Star Wars is May 2026. Ooh.
I think Avatar 3 coming out this year?
Star Wars date of May 2026. But May 2025 is Secret Wars. Thank you, George. My bad. But yeah, I think I would suspect Mando and Grogu.
Okay. Grace. Secret Wars does not come out in 2025. So, okay, George. Okay. Secret Wars does not come out in 2025. Whether it's part 1 or 2, or if it's not even the first part of Secret Wars, if it's still Kang Dynasty, ain't coming out in 2025. It may not even be 2026. Maybe 2026.
Come out sometime 2025, but it couldn't be for Christmas because Deadpool 3 got moved to November, I believe. But yeah, it came.
Deadpool 3 is coming out in July. What the hell?
Grogu can't come out for Christmas. Ivan says May 2025 is Fantastic Four. Let's see. They haven't even announced the cast yet. Grogu and Mando is a big movie. I would.
They
give it a
haven't
really-
even announced the cast for Avatar 3. You could check it in the Wikipedia and filmography who's going to be Avatar 3. They already have the cast for that film. They already filmed it. They're filming 4 right. They're going to start. I think they're filming 4 right now. They're getting very close to starting Avatar 4. What? Like, I think. Do we do more research than her? Seriously?
really, really great date. So let's see. Let's see what happens. All right. So does anybody have any questions or comments about this story before we move on to the next story?
Oh, Lord.
Questions and comments time. Anything you want to ask me about this? Ikana, Tony Gilroy, of course, is doing Andor season 2, which doesn't start filming till the end of this year. So that's very far away. I don't know why it takes so long to get these sequels. Glalie says, Christmas with Grogu. You guys all want Christmas with Grogu. You're like, get out of here, Avatar. But no, Avatar makes so much money. Mary Rose, The Acolyte isn't shelved. Star Wars has multiple shows coming out.
I think Grace needs to do this at times.
That is blasphemous. That is blasphemous.
This year on Disney Plus, but they haven't dated any of them, which is weird.
Let's get to the Abby stuff. Let's get to Last of Us. All right.
Ivan Sarmiento says, what are your quick thoughts on Echo? Ivan, we're nowhere near. That's totally nothing to do with this story. You got to at least wait for the Q&A. You got to at least wait for the Q&A to get me in trouble. Let's see here. Chris, this is the end of the Mando story. This is questions and comments time.
No, you said that's the end of the show.
Oh, yeah. I guess Deadpool is set for July, Alex. Let's see. I'm sorry. Off the top of my head. Ahsoka season 2 is far off. Because they said he's only developing it right now. Nicholas says, Chad Stahelski asked to direct a Star Wars movie. You know, I always say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but I don't know. You don't want to be a desperate wheel either. I don't know, man. That wheel reeks of desperation. I don't know if we should give it any more grease. You don't want to desperately squeak. I think it's horrible and so sad that Chad Stahelski has to go around begging for movies. What is he, David Ayer? Have some self-respect, man.
Begging for some movies? He just wants to make a Star Wars movie. Is that begging? Chad wants every movie, but he wants to make movies. So what? Begging. Hey, David Hasselhoff, I'm begging. I'm getting on my knees. Make me. Tell James Gunn I want to make a DC movie. Hey, Kevin Feige, I'm on my knees. Can you give me a Marvel movie, please? Hey, Kevin Kennedy, can I do a Star Wars movie, please? I'll beg. I'll do anything. I'm on my knees begging. Yeah. It's like she doesn't know that directors want to make movies, right? She had ideas for movies that don't come through. It's like
Danny says, do you think they will recast Ray Stevenson's character? I think they have to, obviously. I don't know. Honestly,
yeah.
I guess they have to.
Yes.
I mean, I would be like, oh, a tragedy befell him, because I feel it's kind of disrespectful to recast Ray Stevenson because he was so good. I'd be like, just let that performance just breathe on its own and remain as a great time capsule of his last performance. But I mean, his character ended on a cliffhanger. I don't see how they can abandon that.
Yeah, they're not going to abandon that based on his ending.
For you to say, says, where does this put Bo-Katan? I thought she was the new Mando. I don't know if they're going to make any more seasons of Mando.
Yes,
I think they're going to do this big movie. I mean, never say never.
And Bo-Katan will be back.
Forever. There will always be potential Mando stories. And he's a great character. So is Grogu. I love the way season 3 ended with them on their own farm. I was like, this is great stuff.
Get to the freaking...
Derek Stewart says, what are the chances that Disney AI scanned Ray Stevenson? I don't care if they scanned him. I mean, they probably did for a body double, for visual effects shots, but I don't care. I think audiences have made it clear they don't like digital versions of deceased actors. They've made it really clear.
But she
So
she
I
doesn't
would
care
advise
though.
anybody against doing that.
But you're against it. But you say you don't
B.
care.
Weeb says Grogu entering this movie without a saber is a mistake. That's an interesting question. Let me put this out there. Forget sabers. Hold on. Should Mando talk?
Do you know how ridiculous Grogu would look with a saber at that size? That size. I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm sorry, but he's not a Jedi yet, so he won't get the saber. But you know how ridiculous at that size he look like with a saber? The saber's gonna look like, you know what the saber's gonna look like? It's gonna hold it like this at a small size. It's gonna look like a giant penis. Penis comes out, it's gonna look like. It's gonna be look ridiculous. Grogu with the saber is gonna look ridiculous at that size. He needs to get a little bigger.
I mean, should Grogu talk? Should Grogu talk in this movie? Say his
Liv
first
Schreiber.
words, which the internet will then spoil.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
she didn't.
yes, he should.
Mando does talk.
And then no, leave it the way it is.
Hear that? You've got this. Your other sides are calling.
I think he should definitely talk. I'm getting real tired of him not being able to talk. I mean, it was really
I think she's
fun
talking
for a
about
little
Grogu
while.
Degrassi.
Now
The
I'm getting
Grogu, yeah,
real
Grogu.
tired of it. I'm like, you got to talk, Grogu.
What's his first word? What's his first word gonna say?
You know, it's like when you
Dada?
have a child and you have to have them on the development ladder. You're like, it's time for you to be speaking, man. And if not, we got to go see a child therapist.
Hey, Grace. I'm pretty sure her species, the Grogu species, is their development cycle is different than a human baby development cycle. Okay, they're different. It's different. So he'll talk at different. He'll talk when his species technically start learning to talk. Not like a regular child, okay? Not like a regular baby when they start saying the first words. It's different. Different species, okay? Different species.
Oh, that's interesting. Not modern art history, that if it's another language, maybe it couldn't be spoiled. I don't know. Anonymous scoopers could get a hand on the script to get a look at the script, and then they would just know what the translation was and still ruin it. I was pretty upset to see some more Deadpool 3 leaks today.
Grogu, Yoda knows English.
Not stopping.
Yoda's the
Ryan
same
Reynolds
species.
was like, I tried to be nice. Yeah, Mish, he's definitely going to talk like Yoda. Although, wouldn't it be hilarious if he didn't talk like Yoda? If that was just like a Yoda affectation.
I wouldn't put it past
like,
him.
Oh, Yoda was just
Degrassi.
bizarre.
I wouldn't put it past
That
him.
would be so funny.
Those
I would love that. I think
those creatures do have those creatures are a little bit trickery. You saw from Yoda and Return of the Jedi. Yoda, like, you know how Yoda is in Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the species are like that. The species are like that. They have.
Well, some of you are pointing out that other characters from the Filoniverse did not speak like Yoda, so that's interesting. I would think it would be hilarious if he didn't. That's right, Fritz. I would love it if Grogu's first line was to call Pedro Pascal daddy.
Yeah, like this. Yeah, like
so
that.
Funny.
Yeah, like that.
So happy.
Kind of like that.
The
I think
internet
it's
would be
it's
like,
a trait. Maybe it's a
me,
trait
me,
of the
machine.
species. Of the species. That
Travis says
their
Liev
species.
Schreiber could
Maybe it's
replace
something
Ray
that
Stevenson.
the
Travis,
species
I
are like.
agree.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn good casting. That's actually great casting. Although I don't know if Liev Schreiber is as good an actor as Ray Stevenson. I mean, Liev Schreiber is a good actor, but Ray Stevenson was like, he really elevated that series. All right, let's go on.
I'll say this. Ray Stevenson played that role fine. I think Liev Schreiber would play the role just as fine as Ray Stevenson. Okay.
On to the next story.
Abby, we're going to talk Last of Us.
Oh, look at this. Okay. All right, so 72% think that he should talk. Grogu should speak in the movie. He should say his first words. But 27%, almost 30%, say to leave it the way it is. So it would be controversial. but I'm telling you, he's got to talk. I think that's a great idea. I bet you he does talk in the movie. I bet that's a selling point. They're
I
like,
bet you he does talk in the movie.
hear Grogu's first words. Hear him see him get. It's a movie of firsts.
You can write the script for it, Grace.
Mando's so proud of his baby Grogu. Look at my baby. Taking the first lightsaber swirls, saying the first words.
No.
It's gonna be so great.
No, this is how Mando will react to Grace, not to Grace, to Grogu talking. He'd be like, because Mando does not got shocked or surprised, okay? You could tell in his tone of the voice. Obviously, you can't see his face because he's covered, but you can see but you can hear the tone of voice. He'd be like, when Grogu starts talking, says something, Mando will be like, did you just speak? Did you just speak? What did you say? What were those words? He'll just say it like that. He'd be like, what did you just say? Did you just speak? He won't be excited. He won't be overjoyed, okay? Like, wouldn't be excited like an actual parent would be, okay? In real life. I could guarantee you like that. Mando's not going to be like, he's going to be calm, cool, collected, be like, what did you say? Did you just speak? You know? Like it's no big deal.
All right. Second
Because
story of the day. Hold on.
if he wasn't like that, if he wasn't like a real parent in real life, be like hearing their child speaking the first time, they get really excited. That's a total change from his character.
All right, here we go. Boop.
Boop.
Let me close that first one. Boop. All right. So, more Pedro Pascal stuff. Pedro Pascal, The Last of Us season 2 finally cast Abby, and the rumors, in my opinion, were unfortunately correct.
Unfortunately,
Caitlin Dever got the role. I don't like this casting. I've made it very clear that I want Katie O'Brien to be Abby, who actually, by the way, was on The Mandalorian. I feel that she was perfect. I know she was a little older for the character, but I don't care. To me, Katie O'Brien is Abby. I mean, she's just so perfect. And then
Katie O'Brien, well, starting to get to name herself a little bit strong, obviously well built. If she hasn't paid attention, she was just talking about Star Wars. Katie O'Brien was in Mando season 3, right? Katie O'Brien's coming back to the Star Wars stuff. Okay? There's no way she was going to do Last of Us. Well, it was actually the same schedule. Like, okay. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Come on, Katie O'Brien is not a good actress as Caitlin DeVere, but she's coming back to the Star Wars stuff, okay? We saw her season 3, season 2. Yeah. Like, seriously, just because she's jacked? Like, here's a problem. There's a problem with these people. You need to cast somebody who's jacked, right, all the time to play a jacked character. Do you know actors actually worked out, right? To put on muscle, right? You know that, right? You know that. You know that, Grace. You should know that. Okay? They put on muscle. Oh yeah. Maybe the actress in his 30s. Yeah. Maybe Jared is the father of Sabine. I don't know. But like, they work out and put on muscle. Okay? It's like she's saying that these actors are not dedicated enough to work out to portray the characters that they're going to play, which is untrue.
also, but don't feel too bad for Katie O'Brien. She has this great like Bound meets Thelma and Louise movie coming out with Kristen Stewart from A24, which I think looks really, really strong. But I mean, look at her physique there. I mean, that's so Abby. I feel really bad that she didn't get
physique. Yes. Physique. Abby is strong, physique wise. Thank you, Degrassi, thank you. But this, this is not a knock on Katie O'Brien, guys. Let you know,
But
this is
she
not a
didn't.
knock
All
on
right,
Katie
so-
O'Brien. Nothing against her. It's not a knock on her. It's just sometimes sometimes the obvious fit is the best fit, and sometimes the not so obvious fit could be the best fit too. That's true. And Katie O'Brien is not the obvious fit here. Now, Caitlin Danvers, while she's playing Abby, you could also see her playing Ellie too. Matter of fact, she was one of the runners up to Ellie.
So I feel really bad about it. I feel like I'm Katie O'Brien's agent, and I feel I'm like, it's just one of those things where the perfect person didn't get the role.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Katie O'Brien's 34 years old. You know how ridiculous it looks like a 34-year-old to play a young 20-year-old character? Now, Caitlin Danvers is 27, but still, she still looks young enough to play Abby, okay? But Katie O'Brien is 34 years old. You know how ridiculous that is? Really? Oh my God. Like, it's not Katie O'Brien's fault. I mean, you can't dictate what year you were born in, obviously.
All right, so
Get on here, Brian. I need you on here.
Caitlin Dever got the role. But I have to say, one of the things that's weird to me is that I feel she looks so much like Bella Ramsey. So much to the point that I feel that the point must be that there's a similarity between the two of them. They must want to underscore the duality between Ellie and Abby.
Yeah.
Because they just look so similar. They look so alike. I saw some of you even say you felt like Caitlin Dever could play an older Ellie. Although I feel like they look.
You know she hasn't played the game, so guys, we got to remember she hasn't played Last of Us 2.
The same age to me.
Getting blinded.
So
yeah, thank
you,
blinded.
Very similar to me, which is one of the main reasons I don't care for the casting. I would have preferred these two to be different, but fine. I mean, I do trust the casting and the producers of The Last of Us because season 1 worked out so well. I thought season 1 was brilliant. I thought that the casting was fantastic. I thought every single aspect of it hit it out of the park. So I'm like, okay, I'll go along with this, but I do feel very much like it's a mistake.
This whole stream, I'm telling you, blinded. This whole stream, I'm either laughing or I'm pissed off. I'm doing both.
I didn't see this part. I don't look at any of her things about The Last of Us because it's just she has no clue what she's talking about. It's so obvious. I mean, she couldn't even do. I mean, maybe she didn't want to spoil it for herself, I guess. But like everything she's saying, it's like if you took like just 10 seconds of research, you would realize, yes, Abby and Ellie look alike. That is totally on purpose. Duh. That's part of this freaking story. They did that intentionally. Yeah. I mean, and most people, if you've been following The Last of Us Part 2, you would know that when they first showed Abby off, everybody thought it was actually Ellie's mom, right? That was the longest like theory going around that we were going to play as Ellie's mom. We were going to see like Ellie's backstory and why she got bit, and obviously that didn't happen, right?
Because we saw season 1, and obviously it's not gonna. We saw her mom, season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you got wild up when the actress, she suggested Katie O'Brien. Like, yeah, she's jacked.
Because I mean, yeah, that's only it. She's jacked. It's like she looks nothing like Abby. She's like almost. First off, she's like significantly taller than Bella Ramsey. It would just look extremely weird, right?
She's 34 years old.
Yeah, and on top of that too, she's way too old. Like, I mean, both actresses are like the same height. I think they're like 5'1". They're really short, right? So, I mean, like, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. Um, yeah, it's just really dumb. I'm curious to see who if they're gonna cast Owen next. I want to believe if Owen is gonna be the next person who gets revealed, because that would
Oh
be
yeah.
interesting.
So you like? Do you like the Dina casting?
Um, I mean, like, I'm kind of mixed on it. Like, I wasn't expecting that actress to get it. Like,
Neither
I
was
mean, it's
I.
not a bad choice, but at the same time, I'm like,
Wait a minute.
I guess I can live with it.
How often is she gonna be in the show? Because how often? How often is she gonna film?
Dina,
Because she's in Superman Legacy also. That's supposed to start filming
yeah,
on
I
Monday.
don't think she's gonna be in. Well, here's the thing, right? If they go by the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Dina would be in the season. I would say if there's 9 episodes, I would say she would probably be in four, four or
Okay.
5 episodes, possibly. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's a lot to do with Dina, right? Because I mean, spoiler alert, but Dina is pregnant, right? And there's a whole plot line about that. And then Dina actually wasn't supposed to go on the adventure with Ellie, and she just like tags along.
Mm-hmm.
And also, oh yeah, this is another thing too. I completely forgot, right? And that's because they made a big change to the TV show, right? And obviously, this is what I mean. Like they're gonna change up stuff, right?
It did
So
season one.
if you guys know if you play the Last of Us game, right, you know that one of the big difference is that in the game there's spores, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to wear a mask. Now in the second game, right, no one knew that Ellie was immune until Dina went with her on the adventure, and they were trapped in a tunnel, and Ellie's mask broke, right? And Dina started freaking out, and then she learned that, oh no, Ellie's actually immune. But here's the thing: how would you now know that she's immune in the show, right? There's no spores in the show, right? So I
She would
guess
have
they
to
would
get
have to
bit.
do, yeah, I guess they would like change it up where it's
What
like she
she
gets
did.
bit,
Season one, they show she got bit. That's the reason why, right?
right?
You know, like because they had no spores.
Yeah, so that part is definitely going to be changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, Dana does play a significant role. She is pretty much another major supporting character, right? So, oh yeah, and another character I'm curious to see what they do with. There's two characters. Lev. I'm not sure if Lev will be in season two. Maybe like right at the ending, we'll see Lev. Um, but that actress, I think they're trans. So, yeah, I don't even know how they say like a trans or like a non-binary actor. I'm pretty sure they're they them. But anyway,
Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
that. That's as a
yeah, I'm pretty sure
pronouns.
they were. Yeah, that I've seen that actress or actor before in a show called OA. I think it was on Netflix. So I don't know if they bring back that same actor, actress, whatever you
Okay.
want to say, but and then another major character who's played by a major actor is Isaac. He's played by what's the guy? What's his name? He's Jim Gordon in the Batman.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, Jeffrey Wright's in The Last of Us Part Two.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Um, yeah, yeah, he's the WLF leader. Now I'm pretty sure if they split the season in two, he would be more featured in the third season because all his like scenes are with Abby. So I mean, the only characters I assume would be in the second season are like Abby's friends, um, which is hilarious. One of her friends' name is my name, Jordan, which that guy gets fucking killed in the most brutal way possible. And I was like, damn, and he was an asshole too. So I was like, fuck, man. And then there's also all Abby's friends are assholes, by the way. Like it's gonna be really funny seeing everybody root for them to all die because like they all died like horrific deaths. Like Manny, forget the black girl's name, but she was annoying as hell, and Ellie beats the shit out of her in the hospital. And that's another scene that's also I don't know how you're gonna do that scene because that like the whole reason why that scene happens is that girl is being chased. She's gonna die anyway because of the spores, but she's like super terrified because Ellie's like breathing in the spores, and she's like, "How are you breathing and not dying?" And then she's like, "Well, I'm better than you," and then she just kills her, and you're like, "Oh shit, that's fucked." I'm just like, damn. I mean, there's a lot of I truly do not understand why people hate The Last of Us Part Two. I love The Last of Us Part Two, man. I might even have to play the remaster again. Oh man, I didn't want to buy it, but thinking about this game makes me go, I want to play that game again.
I just know Last of Us Part 2, Season 2 or 3 are going to piss off a lot of people. Because Last of Us, the game, pissed off a lot of people.
I mean, that's the point, but if you
Yeah.
take it for what it is, there's gonna be a lot of great action sequences. I mean, all the best action sequences happen with Abby, so I don't think you're gonna see that in season 2. But I mean, if you get the arcade fight is still pretty cool. If you get all the stuff in downtown Seattle at the ending, that's still pretty cool as well. I mean, there's a lot of messed up stuff that also happens. So, yeah.
Okay.
Rashawn, I don't know if she's going to bulk up for the role.
She already did bulk
Of
up.
course
I don't know
she
how
is.
someone as small as Caitlin Dever could get to that level. And just like with male actors, I hope she's able to do it in a healthy way because it would just be so
Grace, so
transformative.
naive.
You think
So
male
naive.
actors? You think all male actors all exercise in healthy diets? Please.
Grace, they all take they all take steroids. Like this is
Some
the
sort of
only way.
steroid supplements for
Yeah,
sure.
they do cycles, right? I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like, yeah, steroids is not. It's not great to do. Obviously, you shouldn't be
No.
doing steroids. But I mean, there are. I don't want to say safe ways of doing it, but realistically, no one should be doing it. But people still do it anyway. You know what I mean?
There's no. It's not like sports. There's no drug testing.
Yeah, there's no drug testing, but it's still bad on your health though. Like
Yeah, it
especially
is
for
bad.
guys and you try to like bulk up and you get really big. Yeah, that can have really bad health consequences.
Oh yeah, it can make your heart. It can give you heart attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie O'Brien is a professional bodybuilder.
So what?
Who talks about that all the time.
And also too, by the way,
her physical
it probably would be. I'm not saying this is always the case, right? But someone who is shorter, I mean, women do. I'm pretty sure women still should be able to build muscle, like
They can. They do build muscle.
like no, but I mean like put on like a bulk of muscle, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't think she's gonna be as big as what everybody thinks, right? But she has to be. The thing is that that's part of the character, right? Like there's a specific reason why Abby looks like that.
Yeah,
Right? It's
it's
because
just
her whole like for the last couple of years, all she's been doing is training to kill Joel,
yeah.
right?
She'll
So
just bulk up, get strong, and like
yeah,
be dominant. Like
yeah. So I don't really, again, and people are like, "How did she get big?" And they explain that in the game. People who didn't play the game, she literally has access to a gym. Like she's not like
yeah,
everybody else in the world. Like they live in a very comfortable facility. So
yeah.
yeah.
regimen and she's in the gym all the time. Hold on. Just so you know who we're talking about. Katie O'Brien, that's part of her brand. So that's not who Caitlin Dever is. Caitlin Dever is going to have to transform herself. But it can be
That's
done.
fine.
It can be.
Brie Larson kind of bulked up for Marvels, and
Kind of, but she has more of a slim build, right?
yeah, she does. Lisa Vindicator kind of put on some muscle for
A lot of the superhero, if you notice, a lot of
yeah,
the superhero like characters that are women in Marvel movies, you notice how they always try to make them more slimmer? Like they really don't have muscle
muscle.
at all.
No, there's not even DC. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman was
Yeah,
on
Gal
muscle.
Gadot. Yeah, no, I don't think. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's been a major female superhero character
It's
who
muscle.
has like a big, like who are very muscular. I can't really think of any.
Yeah, that's a good point. I can't think of any. I know there's not from Marvel. DC, no.
No. I think they do that intentional. Like they don't. It's
Yeah.
probably like an image thing. Like they don't want to have a woman be muscular. Like that might be too masculine. I don't know.
Also,
Hollywood is weird,
I
So
think it's a cardio thing. Too much muscle is bad for your
yeah,
cardio. And
kind of. I mean, there's a right balance, though,
yeah,
right?
I mean, when Alicia Vindicator had to kind of do the lower cost stuff to get in shape for that, that had to be a lot more
Mm,
cardio than muscle because that movie was a lot more running and stunts oriented than like
right,
lifting stuff up, right? Because like
right. But I mean, she's still hanging on stuff. I mean, if you
yeah,
play the games, like
yeah,
you're talking about Tomb Raider, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and if you played the reboot that movie was based off of,
Yes, it
I
was.
mean, like it's kind of unbelievable in the game. Even though I like the game, it's a little bit unbelievable because it's like she's getting beaten up and
No, it's
like
not realistic at
stabbed.
all.
She's
No,
got
it's
to
not.
climb in these like narrow areas.
It's not
It's
like
it's like she would be dead. Like
she's not
any
protected.
even dudes would be dead. Like, come on.
She's not protected by anything in the games.
No. I like the game. I the first game, right? And the second game. The third game is ass. That game is terrible. But yeah, yeah, it's a little bit unrealistic, but whatever.
Done. Some actors have certainly done it. But I don't think we've ever seen an actress do it before. So
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
have.
never.
but
No,
okay, so
she's right. They've
I
never
don't like the
done
casting,
this before.
but I'm trying to be
Oh yeah.
positive because I love the show.
Okay.
I do trust the show. Natalie Portman did kind of do it.
For what?
No, she
For Thor,
didn't. No,
but
she
she
didn't.
didn't look like
Stop.
Katie O'Brien.
Oh, that
What?
one pic where she looked like she had muscle.
Yeah, like no, she did. I don't know what she's talking about. No.
For Lady Thor.
And what Natalie Portman's probably the same height. No, isn't like she really short?
She is.
Yeah, so
That's the thing. Natalie Portman certainly was bigger. Okay, she certainly had the
no,
muscles.
she was not.
But
Stop.
it's not like Katie O'Brien or Callie Reese in the new True Detective. Callie Reese is amazing.
Man, I don't
Callie
think
Reese is
Grace
a
knows what someone
physical
looks like
force
with
in the new True Detective season,
like
which starts this
I
coming
don't get
Sunday.
it.
I don't know.
And that's quality that Callie Reese has, who's a professional boxer. That's a quality that Katie O'Brien has.
When you're
who's a
talking
professional
about
bodybuilder. And
that's why it's
that-
double standards for men or women, right? And actresses and
Right.
actors, right? Men have to look in order for a man to look strong. They got right. They gotta look physically strong, well built, muscle like that. For
Right.
women, they don't. They gotta be in good shape and all, but they don't have to. But they have to be more beautiful because I think it's perspective where, and it's a sexist kind of thing, but there's a perception that women with muscle and all that are not attractive, which is I think is
Right.
bullshit. Which I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, the bodybuilding kind of women you see in bodybuilding contests and stuff like that, I don't think that's attractive.
Well, that's the extreme, right?
Yeah. But the ones you see like the fitness models or like actresses or basic models, actresses looking fit and stuff, I'm fine with that. If even have a little bit of
Right.
muscle, even the shoulder abs, right? But like the extreme ones, yeah, like yeah. But everybody has right. There's
Yeah, I think you're right. It is double standard, and people have like a different perception of what a woman's body should look like,
it's
and also too, like for Grace to be like, I don't think she could do it. I think that also kind of tells you something, right?
yeah.
I don't think she's gonna be. I don't think
That's
she's gonna
very
be big, but I think she's gonna obviously have some type of physical
she's go-
transformation.
she's gonna be doing stuff where it's gonna take a lot of energy to do,
Yeah,
and you gotta be in good shape for that. Even if she bulks up a bit, a lot of cardio, a little bit of muscle, she's gonna be doing a lot of stuff. Like you said, what she does in the game, there's gonna be a lot of like for me, for a lot of action movies, yeah, you gotta like work in the gym, but it's more about cardio than strength,
right.
right? Because you can have all the strength in the world, but if you can't last long, you're done. You're troubled. Because you know as well, very blind. You go to the gym, even if you have muscle, you can pick up 500 pounds, 400 pounds. But if you
Mm.
don't have cardio, you can't pick that up 400, 500 if you get tired quickly. You won't be able to pick that up.
Right. Well, I feel like there's conditioning, right? When you're
Yeah,
lifting
conditioning.
weights,
Yeah,
there's different.
perfect.
Yeah. I mean, if you can do low reps and sets, that's mostly for strengths. But the higher you go up, the more I would say that's like
Yeah,
conditioning,
the
right?
most important muscle in your body is the brain and the heart, right? The heart, especially
Yeah.
for cardio, right?
Yeah. I mean, your heart is also when you're lifting weights, that's also good for your heart too.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah.
Unique that Abby is supposed to have. And it's Abby's picture there. You can't really see her that well.
So get a better picture.
But let's see. Let's see. I'm very
Is
excited
that
to
it on her?
not even Linda Hamilton and Ramanzilla. I think I understand why you said Linda Hamilton in T2, but
She
not
didn't have
even
that
Linda
muscle in
Hamilton in
T2,
T2.
Linda
Still too
Anderson,
small.
Linda
Yeah,
We're
Hamilton.
not
she's
looking
kind
for
of
lean and
slim.
mean here.
Yeah.
I'm not just looking for an actress who's buff. You're looking for the power. That is the difference. And so I hope
You're not gonna
I
find
mean, I
many
hope
of
that they
them,
realize
Grace.
that. I
I'm
hope
sorry.
Endeavor is able to achieve that.
They're,
I mean, that
That's
you're
right,
you're
Danny.
you're she's
Bella
casting a
Ramsey is
30-year-old
training right
actor
now
to
in the
play a
gym for
a
season
20-year-old
2.
character.
So I guess
yeah.
Ellie's also been working out. I guess there's not a lot to do out there on the
Wait, you what? How about Grace?
on the
Grace? How about this?
on the
You know what? Why don't you get a wrestler, a female wrestler to play the role, huh? Do you want somebody like that? How about that? Female
But the
wrestler?
problem is that there's not the actor. You need like the casting makes perfect sense because you need an actor who does mirror Ellie, who looks very similar, but
Yeah.
physically is different. And also they have to be on par with them, and the audience also has to like them too, but they also have to hate them. That's what I'm saying. Abby is a very tricky character to pull off, and that's why so many people hate her, right? Because she has to be a really good antagonist, but she also has to be
Yes.
a really good protagonist. That's rare. I don't think that you could. Not even Marvel and DC has ever done something like that. Because when they ever like the closest would be obviously Loki, right?
Yeah.
But like even then, Abby is a
But,
character who you adamantly hate, and they make a switch. Actually, you
but
know
the
what?
problem is, I wouldn't even put Loki out there because even when Loki is a villain, people still love them.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Here's a better comparison. I take that back. A character who's very similar to Abby is actually Peacemaker. Peacemaker is very similar to Abby in the sense
Yeah,
that
yeah. You're
they do
supposed to hate
something
him.
yeah, they do something really bad, and they're able to like sway you back,
Yeah.
and make or make him relatable, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, very similar characters, but
Because for
that's hard to
Suicide
do.
Squad, yeah, to the Suicide Squad movie made Peacemaker look like a total jerk asshole, turned on the
Yeah,
team, and then he's watched the
people
show and
are
like,
gonna, and the thing is, this second season, I mean, like you're not really gonna see Abby all that much. Like Abby
yeah,
might be only in the first episode. Like I don't think she's gonna be in. Maybe she. I'm trying. No, the first episode, and again, if they do it like the game, like so, okay, like the way the game is structured, right, is like you have the death of Joel. Then Ellie's like, okay, I'm gonna go on this revenge mission. Tommy's also on the revenge mission as well.
of course,
Right. And
makes sense.
so he goes like a couple days before Ellie, and then Ellie gets to Seattle, and then there's like 3 days. So each day, Ellie's basically killing Abby's friends, right? Until the last day where they all like meet up, right? Jesse, Tommy, because Jesse also like comes he wasn't supposed to be there, and then he like shows up because he's like, oh, I knew you guys were gonna have some problems, so I followed you guys. And obviously he dies because of that, right?
Hmm.
um and also too, by the way, that scene with that people were criticizing, they were saying that that was false advertisement, where you see Ellie talking to Joel. She was actually talking to Jesse in that scene,
Mm.
right? And that was the scene in like in the suburbs. That's actually a really cool sequence, by the way. When she's like killing all the WLF. Um, yeah, there's like I said, there's a lot of good sequences in the game. But yeah, at the ending of the 3 days, Abby shows up at the theater. She figures out that Ellie's actually hiding out. And so she goes for revenge because at that point, again, spoiler, uh, Ellie kills. I think she kills Mel. I don't think she kills anybody else. Mel is another character I wonder if they're going to cast really soon too. So yeah, they got a lot of people that they're going to be announcing, I guess, because
Yeah,
yeah,
as they start filming, there's gonna be people announced. Yes.
yeah,
On the commune that they're settled on. All right. So does anybody have any comments or
I want to play a
questions
short
about this
segment.
story before we go to the
So
third
what's the-
story? That's right, Wesley Walrus. That's
Wesley
a great
Walrus.
way to put it. Caitlin Dever doesn't have a broad frame. The frame is a big part of it, and Katie O'Brien and Callie Reese have a very big.
You know, Grace, it's called working out. And if she does whatever weight training, she could make herself a decent broad frame. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You think? Sorry. Like, you ever heard of a gym, Grace?
I don't think Grace goes to the gym. I mean, Grace is really short too, right? So
I
it
never
doesn't
seen her.
look like
I
she
honestly
works out.
never seen her standing. I mean, she's probably standing now, but I haven't seen her like.
I've seen her in other like pictures that people like they
Oh,
were at like cons and stuff. She's really short, so
does she
she
go to
and you could tell
cons?
she
Does
doesn't work out.
she go to New York
So
Comic Con?
no, it was New York Comic Con.
Does she go to that one?
Yeah, I think she does quite a bit.
Oh,
Big frame. Oh, that's a good point, Danny. I'll do a poll on what you think of this casting.
Grace is the movie pundit of the East, and John Campea is the one of the West.
Mhm.
New York, LA.
They both reflect the stupidities of
Yes.
their cities too.
What do you think of Caitlin Dever as Abby? Perfect casting. But trust The Last of Us. Okay. Then
Is she gonna combine?
miscast.
She's gonna combine.
So those are the three options, I think. Okay. How I'm not even putting not watching the show on there, because how are you not watching The Last of Us? I was looking back to January of last year because it's so slow right now, and I was like, I sure missed The Last of Us coming out in January. That was great.
5
that
days.
Really helped the month last year.
4 or 5 days is the anniversary.
Fritz says, do you think Katie's agent just wasn't eager enough? Fritz, that's a great question. And if you haven't, while you guys are voting, and remember,
Why don't you go ask the agent? How about you find her agent? Ask the agent. Maybe she never. Maybe I blinded. They were not looking for someone in their 30s to play the role anyway.
They weren't looking at someone in their 30s. Like, come on.
Like, what,
This is what I mean. Like, and you notice too, like Grace is only talking about how she looks like. By the way, the person who is playing Ellie or Abby, and this is how you know Grace Randolph doesn't. I mean, she doesn't know. Like, I wish you would just say she doesn't know, because then I won't give her shit. But at the ending of the game, Abby's physique completely changes.
Yeah.
Like, so you need an actress who can be both bulky and very skinny. Like that's actually at the very ending. That's like super important.
And Katie O'Brien will be bulky from the start.
Yeah. So this is what I mean. This is what I'm saying. Like Grace Randolph, why does she do this? Like, why does she talk like with this authority when she doesn't know? Just say you don't know. I don't get it.
And also, like, Grace, you're talking about Katie O'Brien's agent. Oh, like it's like she's insinuating that they contacted The Last of Us.
Right.
HBO. It's like she's insinuating they contacted The Last of Us.
Like, how do we?
Yeah.
How do we even know that she will try to go for the role?
It's just yeah. So she's trying to make up like a narrative or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Vote in a poll. You don't have to be a member. So while you guys are voting, I'll answer some of your questions.
We'll go to John Campea.
Fritz says, why do you think Katie didn't get it? I saw some people say that that maybe she was too old for the role.
Yeah.
So that might have been potentially the case. Platinum Diva, Angela Bassett, I feel, has a little bit of a bigger frame as well. But I agree. Angela Bassett is also, when she wants to, can be a real force physically.
What? Angela Bassett? Oh. have a bigger frame. Did you anything see? Did you see anything Angela Bassett with the big frame? Like, I don't know.
But then also, I think that The Last of Us, for some reason, really got their heart set on Caitlin Dever, and they got their heart set on her early.
You want to know why?
Maybe.
I'll tell you why. I said this on a stream last night. Caitlin Dever tried out for, ironically, Ellie. She lost the role to Ellie, but I bet you they were very highly appreciated, very highly. They liked what they saw from her, and maybe they wanted to work with her in the future. Maybe they told her that, and they were looking for the perfect role. Maybe they promised her the role of Abby. I don't know, but they probably thought when we get to season 2, Caitlin Dever should be the front runner because they're probably, you know what? They probably had her from the. I'll say this. Yes, they probably had auditions for Abby, but they probably had Caitlin Dever dead set on being their Abby. I'm just gonna go with that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the thing is, this actress, she doesn't. Yeah, she's been around, but I think she's more of like. I don't think she had like the sarcastic flair that Ellie needed, right?
Yeah.
Like Ellie needs to kind of be somewhat comedic. She kind of has to be down to earth. And Abby's not like that. That's the thing. Abby is very, very serious. So I mean, yeah, we'll see. I still think the casting so far has been pretty good. We'll see the changes that they make and what they do. I mean, I have confidence at least that the show will be really good. So yeah, I can't really see them. I mean, of course there's gonna be controversy. Yeah, everybody who likes this game knows there's gonna be controversy. People have already made up their minds, right?
Last of Us, if they do win some awards for Emmys, you don't know how big of a moment, a monumental moment, a gaming. No, it's a big life-changing moment for the video game industry to be adapted into movies, TV shows. Because if it doesn't win awards, that's big for video gaming. That's a big thing. Okay, because that turns the stigma of video games being adapted to TV shows and movies have not been good for the last few years, right? If Last of Us wins awards, it's getting nominated. Even being nominated, it's good, right? It's a good thing for video games being adapted. That means video games are not a joke anymore. Okay, because
here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. I feel like the video game industry is so desperate, to be recognized as like a serious medium, that they have to resort to these. They have to do stuff like, like God of War, like Horizon. That's mostly PlayStation, right? But like, there's this like need to validate the medium.
This will help it.
No, I don't think this will help it. I think the medium's already established. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's inspired people. It's a yeah, but that's because that's coming from people who don't play video games, right? I think it's dumb. It's like someone who's never read a book and you're making fun of, like, why would you ever read a story? I think it's ridiculous. So I don't really. Video games don't need to be validated by Hollywood. Just keep making video games. You know what I mean? Like,
it's to me, it's really the next genre. It's going to dominate.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't know how much material they're going to have for that, but we'll see.
Yeah, because there's so many video games like either starting filming or just announced. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the risk of when Hollywood touches something that's not in their wheelhouse.
I feel like they're giving more respect to video games being adapted because they're actually getting people who's actually worked on the video games to have some input.
I mean, kind of, but not necessarily. I mean, like, yeah, you brought on. I mean, for this they did, and it also helped that Craig Mazin actually has played and liked the game, I think that makes a big difference, right?
Of course, for anything, yes, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, that we were saying the same thing about Jonathan Nolan playing the Fallout games, right? Saying, "Oh, he loves Fallout 3."
Did the people that went writing the God of War, did they play the games? Did they say?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like Hollywood, like they do this weird thing where it's like, oh, we're adapting someone else's material, but we're not going to actually read the source material and understand it. Because then, if you understand it, when you make changes, the changes are in line with the themes and the ideas of the original material, right? So that's why I'm very like, yeah, I don't mind if you change source material, but the change needs to make sense.
It makes
right?
sense, yeah.
Maybe again, as I said, there's supposed to be a duality there. That's the only thing I can think of because they look so.
Well, yeah, take a Google, take a look.
Like almost like looking in a mirror.
Google it.
And I think maybe they fell so in love with that idea that maybe it blinded them a little bit, or maybe it
No,
will be
it
like
didn't.
that was brilliant.
Maybe Neil Druckmann, the creator of the
You guys
game,
were
who has input.
Because that's literally what it's supposed to be. So I don't.
Riley Steele says, "Can you tell us a little bit more about Abby's character?" I can't tell you too much, Riley, without giving away huge spoilers. But let's just say
that's
she's a
because you
character
don't
hell-bent
know.
on vengeance. She's a physical force of nature. She's, I think, a villain, but I think you're supposed to understand where she's coming from. Like she's a villain to Ellie and Joel, but perhaps not a villain to the viewer. Although again, we're still all divided on whether or not Joel was in the right with his actions.
Here's the thing. There's no villains or good guys in Last of Us.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Ellie is not a good guy. Joel's not a good guy. Abby is not a villain or a good guy. They're not.
And you'll see that's. I mean that is a good point. I feel like some people, I mean, especially with this game, they kind of like ignore the stuff that Ellie does, but Ellie does murder a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like people who like, if you were only trying to get at Abby, there was really no reason for Ellie to kill all her friends. Like that was actually really messed up.
This is a very shades of gray game. This is not a black and white story.
Yeah. I mean, also too, Ellie killing Mel, that was also very controversial too, because I mean, she killed a pregnant woman. So, and the thing is, like that part of the game, I believe is going to get changed because it's like they didn't go all the way with it. Because I feel like if you make Ellie kill a pregnant woman knowingly, people will just hate the character, right? You'll just ruin the character, right? People will just be like, "Oh, fuck that character," right?
I think the general audience are gonna like season 1. If you haven't played the games at all, they want to make you like Ellie, right?
Right.
You're right.
But that's the one thing she does that I could see a bunch of people being like
turning on her.
Like,
yeah. Especially if.
But she doesn't know, right? She's like wearing a jacket.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's kind of stupid, right? Because Mel doesn't say anything. She just like willingly gets stabbed. She doesn't say I'm pregnant or don't do this because I'm pregnant. She doesn't say anything.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you generalize, if you fell in love with Joel and Ellie, season 2 might make you turn on them.
Well, yeah. I mean, Joel's not. That's another thing too. It's like
you're not supposed to love these guys, these characters.
I mean, the game. I mean, the show is very similar to the game. That's the thing. It's so similar to the game where it's like, I feel like the people who never played the game, I feel like are gonna have the same reaction of when everybody saw the second game, right? Where it's like, oh, why are they killing Joel and all that stuff?
That's the concerning part for me. Like, I hope.
I feel like it's gonna happen. I feel like no matter what they do, what they change, it's still gonna be that.
One, but so I think that's. So
but
that's
Grace
kind
doesn't
of
know.
what
She doesn't
about
know.
Abby going in. Future movie actor says, "I like Caitlin Dever, so I'm happy. Also, haven't watched The Last of Us yet." What? Get on that, man! It's so good.
I want to see you play video games.
Connor Stone says, "I wish."
I don't.
I think
please
that
no.
You think Caitlin Dever can bulk up? I hope so.
Commentary.
So.
What's going on?
That Allie
Oh my God! What's happening here? I have to press this button.
Well, Well, okay, watch the season 2 cutscenes yet because it's way too early.
Cutscenes.
They haven't even started filming. So I don't want to watch the cutscenes and then totally forget it. Like when I read all of Invincible and then like over 2 years later forgot all of it when the show came back. I don't want to do that again.
Cutscenes.
So I'll check out the cutscenes on The Last of Us season 2 closer to release, so I can recall them.
No, so you can know them. Stop saying that.
Actually. So I do not play.
You know what? Her and Campea can watch the cutscenes together.
Yeah, they can, and just continue to lie.
Nothing personal.
Yeah.
See, Danny
just
likes
say
that.
you haven't watched it because you don't want spoilers. I would get it.
Yeah.
Jalen Wright, you should definitely watch The Last of Us. 1000%. Sam Macro says, do you think Caitlin will face the same abuse that Abby's voice actress did after the game?
Yes. Yeah, that's a guarantee, unfortunately.
Of course you're gonna see that.
Grace Randolph.
I think she's more susceptible to it than Katie O'Brien would have been.
No. Grace, this, oh my God, pause.
I just did.
Grace Randolph really doesn't know anything. That's what I'm saying. If you were there and you saw what happened during the leak of The Last of Us Part 2, right? That is now 4 years ago. That blows my mind. That was 4 years ago. But
it was 4 years ago, almost 4 years.
4 years ago when the game got leaked and it was all out of order, people chat all over Abby, right? They made this assumption that the character was trans because Lev was trans.
She was muscle.
And they were making fun of the fact that they got this big, like they couldn't believe it. They thought it was all like a joke and so people are like, I'm not buying the game is shit and blah blah blah. It's all gonna be the same thing because those group of people are still out there. They still say this. Okay, they still say, oh, if you like The Last of Us Part 2, but dude, there's people in my comment section saying this. Okay. Everywhere you go, you say something about The Last of Us Part 2, someone's got a comment for you. Someone's got a snarky comment for you. Yeah. They're either going to say, oh, you like that game with the trans woman beating up Joel, right? They love saying stuff like that.
And she's not trans.
And she's not trans. So it's like, any person who signs up for the role was going to get hate.
Those people think that women cannot buck up. So if a woman's bucked up, they have to be trans, right?
Yeah. Well, they just saw it and were like, "Oh my God, that's a man! That's a man! That's a man!" That's what they were saying.
It's like a woman's not allowed to look strong, have muscle. That's where women come out against people like that.
Yeah, so Grace, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why people are so naive when it comes to the internet.
Yeah.
If it's on the internet and you've seen some hate, just expect that hate to just continue until the end of time because people love to do it.
There's gonna be hate for a season. I'm prepared for it.
There's gonna be massive hate for the season. Massive hate. It should be expected at this point. If it doesn't happen, I'll be shocked. I'll be like, holy shit! Like it actually changed.
There'll be something wrong if it doesn't happen. I'll tell you.
Yeah, like the universe like completely did a 180 or something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is why I say Grace Randolph needs to. Why is it so hard to say? I don't really know because you don't know the community. This is how bad the hate got, right? When the game got leaked, right? The Last of Us Part 2 subreddit, which was pretty much a subreddit to just hype up the game and I'm excited and that subreddit turned into basically a hate farm where every single person in that subreddit dogpiled on the game because of the leaks. And it got so bad, I think it actually got quarantined on Reddit, right? Because so many people, quarantine is like when there's a lot of hate speech and a lot of like people just start acting really crazy. And
during the pandemic.
And so there was like a whole drama with the subreddit and they were like, oh, should we ban it completely? I think it's still up. If you pull up that subreddit, The Last of Us Part 2, you will still see people making memes, joking about the game, trashing it.
Oh man, they haven't moved on.
No, they haven't moved on. They'll never move on. Because that's kind of the point of the game, though. That's another thing too. It's like if you actually sat down and played the game, and this is why I'm not gonna lie. Anytime like someone genuinely says, "Oh, I hate The Last of Us Part 2," and then they never really can explain why. I know they never played the game. right? Or I know that they actually didn't sit down and watch the cutscenes because they saw the part with Joel and they said, you know what?
One scene.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna continue with it. And then they just started going, well, the part two shit because they killed Joel. And it's like, yeah, but Joel is not a good person. There's a reason why he dies. And on top of that, too, to say that that Neil Druckmann shits on the character. By the way, it's his character. Like I seen this this reach that people like doing. They like going, oh well, Bruce Straley, he's the co-creator, and he was the reason why the first Last of Us was so good. Neil Druckmann wrote The Last of Us.
Yes.
He's like the only credited writer on The Last of Us. I'm not
Yeah.
saying Bruce Straley didn't have input, but he didn't get a credit on the writing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was just a co-director. He was the one managing the game and directing it on all fronts, right? So I hate when people do that. It like takes away, it like tries to diminish. Like people just have this strange hate boner for Neil Druckmann. Like I think he says sometimes he does a lot of dumb things, but I'm still gonna give him credit. Like he makes good games. He knows how to write. So, and obviously people don't like The Last of Us Part Two, so they just want to discredit him as a writer completely. And I'm not saying you can't, you can't not like The Last of Us, right? Part Two. I'm not saying that. You're allowed to not like the game. But I'm just saying that a lot of the people who I do encounter say that they don't like the game. That usually, and then when they go into it shows to me they actually didn't play the game or they don't know the story, right? Um, yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's like people just want their media to be like handholdy and like baby fed to them. Oh, no one can die. Everybody's fucking Spider-Man and they live on until the next day. I think it's childish. I think it really is childish. Like The Last of Us is not Spider-Man. It's not a superhero. Joel is not your daddy. He's not some superhero to come and save you. He's not someone to model your life after, right? It's just the reality of things. There's people that you love and they do shitty things. That's just the fact of life. You know what I mean? So that's because we're human. So that's the point of the game. And I know people can't cope with that. So, they just go on and they rage, right? And I'm
Yes.
sure, and you know what's another thing too is I think um by the way, did Grace do you know if Grace Randolph wanted like did she agree with what Joel did?
I don't know.
Because that's usually if you agree with what Joel did, you will hate The Last of Us Part Two, right?
At the
If
ending
you
of at the ending of Last of Us.
Yeah, sorry, The Last of Us Part One, yes.
Okay.
If you agree,
So yeah, he lied to Ellie. But
yeah,
he,
if you agree that him killing all those people and
yeah,
lying to her was
the doctor.
like for the best,
Yeah.
yeah, you will definitely hate The Last of Us Part Two.
And
So I
Ellie,
could
and he told Ellie a lie.
yes. So I could see if Grace Randolph likes, Joel and that ending,
Because I
and she did
feel it. Yeah. Because
yeah, sorry.
you could tell if he told her the truth, Ellie probably would have sacrificed herself for the cure.
Right.
Right. So he was selfish. He wasn't a good guy there. He was selfish.
Yeah. So I just feel like Grace Randolph probably I could be wrong, obviously, but I think she's probably gonna hate. She's just gonna be like everybody else, right? And that's
Yeah.
fine. That's kind of the point. If you at least understand what they're trying to do and still dislike it, that's completely fine. But don't fall into this bandwagon of just like hating the game because they did shit I didn't like, right? Or they killed Joel and I'm upset and I'm not gonna play the game or I'm not gonna look at the story. Okay then.
Oh, they're gonna probably be like they're gonna be. This is what's gonna happen to Grass. Blind, not new to Grass. When they kill Joel in the show, they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna watch it again." And where Joel still probably will still be in the show, even if he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, because because they love saying, "Oh, they killed Joel," and they hate Joel because he's a white
Yeah.
man, and it's stupid. It's all nonsense in my opinion.
Abby is a white woman, but I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because remember that she's
It is way
trans.
Yeah, she's
too
trans,
important
but
to
she's
leave it
really
out.
not.
Do you think the big Joel scene from part 2 of the game will be? Oh, thanks for reminding me. So yes,
What she's gonna talk about?
The Last of Us only had one more game, but the producers have said they're doing 2 more seasons. They're going to stretch this out for as long as they can because it's such a huge hit. So I don't think the infamous scene from part 2 will be in
I do
season
think
2.
so, Will.
Yes,
I think
it
it'll be
will.
in season 3.
This is how you know
they
she
might
does.
just start it
That's
at
hilarious.
the end of season 2.
I think it's gonna be in season 2.
How can she? You can't do the. Listen, if they don't do the scene, let's just say they don't do the scene. Everybody, and it's like a twist. Which
How
is
far
dumb.
into the game? How far into the second game is that scene? Like how many?
It's literally like 20 minutes into the game.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be like beginning. It's gonna be in season 2. It'll be like in the first few episodes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that literally starts the game. So the thing is, this is what I'm trying to say. Like
you just proved her. You just proved her that she doesn't watch it.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't know because you can't. The season doesn't exist until you kill Joel. Like that actually has to be the first episode. The first episode is literally killing Joel.
If that was the case, if this wasn't the case, they would have to make up shit. They would have to make up stuff.
The other way that they could do it, and this is the thing, this is not going to work because the game, everybody knows. Everybody already knows he's dead, right? The other way, which is what it was, I think this was like a theory that people had, and it was because of the first trailer. They could do it like it's like Fight Club, right? Where it's like Joel is still around, like Joel is with Ellie on these adventures, or like scenes, but then it turns out it was like, oh no, it was just like a figment of her imagination. Now that's a trope that I don't think will go over well, but that was actually in the, if you go back and you watch the reveal trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, that's actually what happens, is that there's Joel comes to her as a ghost and is telling her, what are you going to do? And she's like, oh, I'm going to take revenge. And yeah, and he was, it was supposed to be like he's actually dead and he's talking to her, right? Pressure but yeah, you can't really do it any other way.
Because I think that's what I think that's how they're gonna get around that.
They're not gonna get around it.
Wow, look at you. Some of you really are Team Abby. That's crazy. But maybe I would be too.
Hate this game.
I gotta tell, I think Caitlin Dever's okay. I'm not a huge Caitlin Dever fan. I just don't connect with her the way I do like Katie O'Brien.
How do you connect with Katie O'Brien?
Recognize her in Quantumania. I didn't even realize that was her. But as soon as she was in The Mandalorian season 2, I was like, that is a special actress. Just like I feel about Callie Reese. I'm very and also recently
Okay. No disrespect to Katie O'Brien, but Caitlin Denver has actually been in a TV sitcom for with Tim Allen for years and years. That's where we got started. She's been in some movies. Katie O'Brien, she was in Ant-Man 3, but she did have a decent role, and she was a Mandalorian. But Caitlin Denver has a lot more experience. Okay,
right.
Even if she's younger.
Degrassi, I don't see how they could take those flashbacks and make it into one season leading up to the beginning of the game. I don't know how that. I don't even know if, like, people. I think this just to me is like cope. I'm sorry.
Cope.
It is cope. Joel has to die. That's the whole plot of the game. Okay. Like there's no beating around the bush. There's no like we could change this, we could change that. The events of the story, the inciting incident of the story is that Joel dies. If you first off, if let's just say they don't tell us that Joel is dead, okay, then why is Ellie hunting Abby? How are you going to now make up a good reason of why she's not hunting Abby?
Blinded. It's going to be like the Sixth Sense. Joel's going to be there, but you won't realize that he's dead till the end.
We'll see. I'll bet that the first episode is Joel getting his head caved in by a golf club. That's what's gonna happen. I'll make that prediction. I'll stand on it because it makes no
He's just
sense to me.
speculating. He's just speculating.
Oh, I get it, but like I still don't. I still think it's Cope. I still think it's Cope because that's what everybody's saying right now. They're like, okay, they don't have to. This is why I say it's Cope, right?
Cope. See.
It's like okay, how can we avoid the inevitable, right? Joel had to die. How can we prolong this because everybody loves Pedro Pascal, right? So everybody's like coming up with, oh, they could like
don't kill Pedro.
They could put it in chronological order, or like they could hide it and don't tell us until the ending of the season. And it's like no, there's no beating around the bush. He dies. Okay, that's the story. He is dead. No. I'm telling you. It sounds like Cope on everybody else's end. I'm not coping. Listen, if it's wrong, Degrassi, if it's wrong, flip this stream of me saying this, and you could roast me until like I'm burnt. Okay, because I just feel like it's Cope. I feel like it's Cope. Oh my god! I know he's making fun, but I gotta keep it real, man. I gotta keep it real. No, I'm joking, Degrassi. I just seen that speculation so much on Twitter that every time I see it, I just think he's like, I'm projecting. Oh man. Maybe. Listen.
Mika, I did love Dope Sick, but I didn't like.
I obviously like The Last of Us Part 2 a lot, so I'm like, do it. Just kill him in the first episode.
Fan.
If it does happen,
for Michael Keaton, for
just bookmark this. Okay, Aaron, hold my word. Okay, I'll stand on it if I'm wrong.
He was great there.
You could just say you can make fun of me all day. I don't care, but I will stand on it. Remind me in a year or so when this comes out.
Made some horrible decisions during the game, and for me, I loved questioning who was truly the villain. Oh, that's really interesting.
I mean, they do. They make the show for people who didn't play the game.
I mean, the first episode should come. The first episode should be like a huge episode. I think killing him in the first episode, it's like a big thing. It would be a big thing to do right off the bat. I mean, because that'll get people watching the second episode.
The thing is, though, like listen, I've watched so many interviews of Neil Druckmann talk about this story, and it's like the story. First off, this is also another thing. I don't want to get too political, but the story is supposed to be very political. Okay, it is a very political story, right? No. We're joking around.
It's not. But I don't think. I think it'll probably be like, you know what's.
And you know, I'm pretty. I guess.
If it's the first episode, Degrassi blinded. If it's the first episode, you're gonna kill him off for something. It's not gonna be the first 10 minutes. It's probably gonna be at the end, so people could go back to watch the second episode.
Yeah, well, whatever which way. I mean, you guys know I have strong opinions, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Really hot takes and strong opinions.
But it's all. It's nothing. Listen, I say
you're passionate about this. That's why.
Because but I mean, I just see it that way because when you listen to how they talk about The Last of Us Part 2, it is supposed to be a very controversial story, right? And that's because of, first off, what Neil Druckmann and what his whole story, his whole pitch for it. Like I said, when people make the parallels of what has obviously been going on, right? I don't want to say because it is very conflicting. It's such a conflicting political situation, right? I mean, and everybody has their own thoughts on it. Obviously, Aaron has his own thoughts on it. Someone else has his own thoughts on it, and it's kind of. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be very interesting to see the show when it comes out and people connect the dots, right? And be like, oh shit, this is actually paralleling a real conflict. Right. So, and so I mean, when you hear Neil Druckmann talk about that and his experience and why he went to make this story, it is a story about looking at the opposite side and realizing their humanity, even if they do terrible things. Right. And everybody could do terrible things, but at the end of the day, you know, someone is going to have to step up and say, hey, this is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. Right.
Yeah.
And until someone does that, until someone says, you know, we're all capable, we're all culpable in this, you know, that's what the story is. And also too, another, I've said this before on streams, like the reason why I'm very passionate about The Last of Us Part 2 is because this was like a very personal game for me, because the story at the time my uncle passed away. And this game actually, like, I've never cried so hard for a game like at the ending, because I understood what they were trying to do with Joel, right? Where it's like someone that you loved is dead and you never got to say goodbye to them, and you feel regret, and you also realize that maybe they weren't the best person, right? And that's why I really love the game. And every time you tell that to someone, right? Some people don't understand. Some people have never really lived through that type of pain. But that's why I love the game. I even have said, like, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I've played so many games, and I still say The Last of Us Part 2 is one of my favorite games. So that's why I do get like I get passionate about it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, right. So, you know, and yeah, I've talked about it a little bit before, but yeah. So no, it's even if it's still controversial, I still think it's still an interesting conversation to have, right? And we're all gonna have our own different opinions on it. And that's why I like The Last of Us Part 2. That's why I say you should play the game, beat the game, and if you don't like it, then that's actually good. Like, don't
Yeah.
stop at what happens with Joel. Play and beat the game, because you may actually feel conflicted about certain things. Like, you may hate Abby, right? Everybody hates Abby until you realize, oh yeah, like the stuff that she went through was really like, yeah, you anybody would do the same thing as Abby, right? But they're the villain, right? And that's what makes that game so great, is like at any perspective you look at, someone can be the villain and they can be the hero,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I'm excited. We all got different opinions, and I'm curious. Even Grace Randolph, like I criticize, we go a little hard at Grace Randolph, but I still listen to her opinions, right? And I don't agree with everything she says, but sometimes she does say things that I
They
do
all
agree
do.
with.
They all
Yeah,
do, right? Right, they all do.
yeah. I know you played the game Degrassi too. I mean, we've all had conversations about it and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but you
On
know,
a more fun note, I'm not gonna do the Supergirl stuff with John Campea. We kind of talked about it yesterday, honestly. We're just
oh
gonna go.
right.
We're just gonna go to Century. Um, Century topic on who should play Century since the actor pulled out, and we're gonna see what John Campea has to say. And I just gotta say this: that video I made on
Hmm.
Kratos, I think that's the worst casting suggestion I ever seen, ever.
Oh yeah, you were saying that. Yeah,
It was,
it is just it's John Campea casting. Let's be honest.
oh, yeah. So let's see what he has to store for here. So yeah, and no worries, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is the Warner Brothers stuff. It has nothing to do with this topic. I hope, because if it's Tom Cruise, I don't think. You know what? Could Tom Cruise play a crazy century? Maybe.
Out,
Oh
a
man,
little piece of
crazy
news came
century.
out that Stephen Yeun
But he's going to Warner Brothers. He ain't
has
going to.
walked away from the role of Sentry in the Thunderbolts and isn't going to be in the Thunderbolts anymore. Now, the reason given makes a lot of sense. Look, we knew that with the writers and the actor strikes, a lot of schedules were going to get thrown in upheaval and all that kind of stuff. And Stephen Yeun's basically said, look, they
I
started
don't
shooting that
know.
thing in May. Then everything went all haywire. His schedule no longer lines up with it. He had to walk away. But he says he still wants to be in the MCU. He explicitly came out and said, I still want to be in the MCU, but it can't be in this role. So that brings up an interesting question that a lot of
Really?
online sites like this one, like Screen Rant, asking the question, well, now who can
Oh,
replace Stephen
Screen
Yeun?
Rant? Let's see the
Before
list.
we get into their picks, and I want to do a little bit of, I want to go through a couple of these articles here today and kind of analyze what their picks are. I think the first possibility we have to talk about, though,
No.
is it possible that instead of recasting Stephen Yeun as Sentry, they simply just don't have Sentry in the movie anymore? I mean,
Oh god.
that not reworking it to the same degree that
We need to write a
Captain
whole new
America 4 is
script
being
again
done,
or something
'cause
like
there's some
that.
extensive reworking being done on that one. But we've heard a little bit of reworking is being done on Thunderbolts. They had the time, but could it be that they decided that they don't want to bother having him in there?
Oh my god!
And this all is really the
Uh,
topic of today's Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. Listen,
here's the
Rusty,
thing.
you got a
Here's the
topical
thing.
question for the show.
This is an
I'd like to hear
interesting. This is an interesting thought. If they're just gonna remove
Let's skip this part.
Sentry from the, I highly doubt they will remove Sentry. I mean,
Oh,
if the rumors are to believe that they had a costume ready and everything, I don't think that this is just like
no, they're gonna recast them. They're gonna have to they're gonna
yeah.
have to rewrite some part of the script to get a new villain in or something else. Like
I
no,
still
this
think
movie's
Sentry being in the movie sounds like the most interesting part of this movie, to
does
be
Marvel
honest.
does Marvel want any more problems? Seriously, like
Yeah.
really?
I don't think that's, I mean, unless like, I mean, here's the thing, like, unless they really think Steven Yeun is uh like he is Sentry, right? And they're like, you know what, we want to keep him as Sentry, so they remove him from this movie, then it better be like a really good character. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it has to be like a top tier character. So, and if it's not, and if it's just sort of like a character they don't have plans to do, do a movie or Disney Plus series, and he's just going to show up in the Avengers movies, then I say just recast.
yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
hear your voice on our show.
Movie. Now, considering the role he was playing as a Sentry, we know Marvel before him, they courted Ryan Gosling to play the role. We know actor Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy fame had expressed interest at one point in playing the Sentry. But who do you think Marvel will go to now to fill that role as the hero with the power of a million exploding suns? Thanks, guys, and bring on the filthy.
All right, thanks a lot for calling that in, man. And yeah, so first of all, the thing I want to address is
Like here's gonna be this is gonna go. Whoever the cast of Sentry is gonna piss off a lot. Two people on the opposite sides. First, the people will be if they cast Ryan Gosling, the feminist people will be happy. The anti-woke SHW people will be happy because it's not an Asian guy. But if they don't replace him with an Asian actor,
Right.
the people on the opposite of them will be not happy with Marvel or
Right,
Disney.
right.
So it's not going to really. I mean, Marvel obviously doesn't please. I mean, Disney obviously doesn't please the SHWs, the feminists, those kind of people all the time. But like, whoever the casting is pissed off either side. It's gonna happen. Unfortunately, it's gonna happen.
I mean, but the thing is, I mean, I seen this claim like they're not gonna go from an Asian actor to
Yeah.
a white actor, but it's not like they announced Steven Yeun as a Sentry. Steven Yeun, sorry.
Steven Yeun, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't.
Sentry's not
I don't
official.
know.
That the character Sentry is not official. It's just rumored.
Degrassi says he's betting that they cut. I mean, that would
Okay.
suck. I would say that would suck, but yeah.
is it possible that they don't use Sentry?
Sure, it's possible.
Now, I've already saw somebody in the live chat saying, why would they take out a character just because an actor had to back out? They shouldn't. But I would still propose there's still one big glaring thing to me. How does a Sentry...
It's Sentry, Campea. Give it to somebody else. Who cares? It's a Sentry.
fit in with the Thunderbolts? And I wonder if
Bro,
because
he's
listen,
been on the Dark
is
Avengers,
Marvel's
so
version. They say this about a lot of characters, but it really is Sentry. Sentry is Marvel's versions of Superman.
oh
And
my
and
god.
there are several characters that they say that about, but really, this is the guy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, Marvel, I know the Grash, but Marvel likes to sometimes announce who the villain is going to be, or sometimes who the villain is not going to be in their films. You know that. They like sometimes they do that, right?
The thing is, like, I mean, we're just going off of rumors and speculation and what we assume is going to happen. But like I can't really see them like writing out a character who probably would have elevated the movie. Like he would have. And I'm not talking about like just from my personal opinion. I'm talking about like clearly there was supposed to be a twist with this character, right? With his knowing his, his backstory and his comic history, right? They were obviously going to do something interesting with that, right? Like it wasn't like they were just using Sentry. Like I know it's just, oh hey, it's Sentry and here's a costume and we don't explore the character at all. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe they should call him Superman if it has an S on it. I'm kidding.
Yeah, oh man.
Oh man, I kind of don't want to continue this video because I really do like this freeze frame of him. Look at that's perfect.
Yeah, that needs to be clipped. Him with like in the. By the way, did he say he came back? I didn't even.
307. Yeah.
I forgot to say. So he's okay. He's doing better now.
Yeah, he's back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 307 is this clip. This is freezing frame. Okay. Just to remember.
This is the OP guy. When they did World War Hulk, and it had to come down to one person standing against Hulk who just wiped out all of Earth's heroes, the only character they had at their disposal to do that with was Sentry. And Hulk and Sentry battled it out basically to a draw. Right?
Superman fought Hulk before,
and I've
right?
always wondered, as fascinated as I've been to see Sentry pop up in the MCU, I've always wondered, how does this fit in with the Thunderbolts? I mean, listen, I love Bucky.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna have Sentry, they're not gonna make. Let me tell you one thing: you're gonna depower Sentry a lot, because if Sentry's gonna be as powerful as Superman, these characters have no chance, because they're all humans. They're all human with no powers, no special abilities. They would get their ass whipped by Sentry. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that was kind of the point, right?
Yeah.
That they were going up against something that was like.
They would need something. They have to go somebody that has powers. I'm sorry. Like you saw Justice League, Superman, right? With the movies, right? He took on Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash. Batman has no powers, but Cyborg, at least they have something, right?
Right.
Superman just annihilated them. These have people have nothing.
I mean, I mean, but okay, if they remove Sentry from the movie, right? Who do you replace him with? Do you just completely do something different?
Yeah.
Because that's why I just feel like
Bucky gonna do against Sentry. I love
firm handshake.
A firm handshake.
There's a metal arm.
I love Yelena, but I'm sorry.
Yelena's
no
tiny.
Backflips is going to do anything to Sentry. I love David Harbour's character. What do they call him again? The Red Guardian.
Red Guardian.
Yeah,
but love David Harbour's Red Guardian. He was
Campea. You forget the MCU versions of the characters. They kind of depower the characters a lot.
They do, but also too, this might. I hate. I have to defend this movie because I'm not that excited for the movie. but it's like, okay, if they did announce Sentry and they didn't say anything what the plot or premise was, and he was the villain, we just know that he's the villain. We have to suspect that them being completely underpowered is part of the story. Right?
Yeah. It'd be like, oh my god, we just.
That's kind of the point, right? Like they're going. The odds are stacked against them, and they got to beat this superhero that. I mean, and that's not that bad of a premise, by the way. Too, that actually adds stakes, right? Like I feel like that's something that's completely missing from most superhero movies. It's like the stakes are kind of like they either keep the stakes at the world is ending, right? But I mean, this would be different, right? The characters can't actually handle the threat that they're facing because it's just he's a superhero and he's overpowered.
Bottom's getting sued. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
No, I don't really. I still don't really.
Of that Black Widow movie, Yelena was great in it too. But I mean, I love that character. But I'm sorry. What is Ghost or Walmart Captain America? Or
they're not gonna. They're not really gonna do
literally
anything.
Nothing there.
Point.
What do you got, Ray?
When your backs are against.
Here's the point. Physically, yeah, they got swept by Sentry. But as a team, figuring out how to take down Sentry after getting possibly beating the crap out of him by him easily, but working as a team, strategy, whatever,
Right.
finding maybe Sentry has a weakness or something.
Yeah, they have
That's
to
what
have a
happened.
different
Yeah.
angle to it,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I'm
Campea should know that. If right? Like blind, if
I'm
Campea should know that. If you watch
no,
movies,
I
TV.
think he's just maybe he's just posturing. I don't really understand it. But I just feel like I mean that we kind of have to just guess that that's the point. That's
Yeah.
and also too like I've never really been a fan of this power scaling thing. I think it's only bad when it's in the story. It doesn't make sense. Um it just sort of I don't know. I'm so like all over the place. 'Cause like my feelings about continuity is like I care about continuity, but at the same time I feel like it hinders like the creative story and storytelling. But honestly, if they're going up against someone who's super overpowered, is that big of a deal? Like I mean
No.
like see like actually like I feel like wouldn't that be different from what we usually get? Like I mean
I don't.
The Suicide Squad never even played up that angle either.
When they defeated Thanos, right? When they defeated Thanos, they got lucky. When Tony Stark had Infinity,
Well,
the
also if
gauntlet.
you think about it too, they could have easily beaten Thanos too. They just messed up.
Yes, Peter Quill fucked up everything.
Yeah, they just messed up in
They
like
had
key
that. They had
areas.
Thanos, but Thanos was going to win again in
Right.
Endgame. They
But
got
I
lucky with
just there's never really been like I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm wrong. Someone could remind me. But has there really been? I mean, I mean, yeah. I guess there. I guess you could say yes, but like there hasn't been a movie where it's like the characters can really have no powers and they're going up against someone who's like this elite. Like he will take you down within seconds, right? And he's just super overpowered. And you're like, well, how do you take down
yeah,
that character?
yeah, like
It's kind of like what the Suicide Squad game is like. It's like, oh, they're going up against the Justice League,
I mean, yeah, like
or it's like the boys, right? Where it's like, what are the boys gonna do against the Seven, right?
I mean,
It's like,
Supernatural's like that. When they take on demons, the demons could just push them back with their powers, but they're able to kill them.
yeah, through other means. That's what
Yeah,
I mean. You're
yeah,
not killing them in hand to hand or power to
no,
power. You're killing them through some,
yeah. That's how you have to do it.
some thematic.
You think Batman is going to go up against some being who he knows is super strong, is much stronger than him? He's going to go one
Right,
combat fighting him? Come on, like that, like right, like
right. Yeah, I just
Against the wall and you need to defeat a Red Hulk, you go to the raft and you break Sentry out of the raft where he's been parked up this whole time.
no, you get Green Hawk. Yeah,
But here's the problem. We've already found out Red Hulk's gonna be in Captain America 4.
duh.
That comes out before
I don't
Thunderbolts.
think
Before,
Red
yeah.
Hulk is in
So
Thunderbolts.
I mean,
I mean,
I've always thought
I
Red
don't
Hawk.
understand how
Red
that
Hawk
works.
has been a bunch. Red Hawk has been in a bunch of Marvel movies. We just haven't seen Red Hawk yet. We just seen the Thunderbolt Wasp. That's all.
No, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like,
And I guess point.
they're trying to say that Red Hulk is actually going to appear back to back.
Yeah,
about that. So
yeah.
I just want
There's
to
been no
propose. I
rumors
just
for
want to
that.
put it
No?
out there. Nobody told me this. This is not insider information. This is just me as a fan speculating. I
Oh,
want to propose that maybe
okay. Because there was a leak apparently that one of the toys or something like that leaked Red Hawk for Captain America: Brave World Order that he's going to be
Right.
in it. I think that's true, but I think the reason why that toy got leaked and stuff is because they probably were planning to release that this year just as the movie was coming out.
Right. They already have the toys manufactured.
Yeah, made and ready to go, and yeah,
Marvel thought better and said, you know what, let's just pull the Sentry angle out of this. We got all these characters, these great characters, Yelena, Red Guardian, Bucky, Ghost. We got all these great characters. Let's thin it out a little bit. We don't necessarily need a Sentry here. I'm not saying they're going to do that. I'm just saying maybe that's a possibility. Guys, we want to take a second. Thank you.
To be honest,
Sponsor
I
this
would get
video,
rid of
Mint Mobile. on average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break
Taskmaster
Mint Mobile plan
and put Sentry.
to go through these.
Oh, here's the list.
And restrictions apply. See,
Let's
this
see the
article
list. Let's see
here
the list.
wanted to throw
Okay.
10 possible names of replacing Sentry. So I thought we would go through these. One is Alexander Skarsgård. I like the pick. Ever since I saw him in The Northman. Actually, you know what? A lot of people crap on the movie, but
Who
he
crouched
showed
on
me
Northman?
something in that Tarzan film he did with Margot
Oh,
Robbie.
Tarzan.
It's like, this dude's a legit action star. And then if you haven't seen him in Northman, whoa. So he could, and
It's not a bad
most
choice.
importantly, he is a world-class actor. So I like their
It's not a bad choice, but it
Andrew
seems a
Kochi,
little derivative. Because
I
I
still
feel like
think-
he's. Have you seen the movie Mute?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays like this silent character, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know the rumor is that the Silver Surfer, the first Silver Surfer, is going to be female, and then we're going to get the classic Silver Surfer, and he's rumored possibly being that Silver Surfer. I think I'd
Right.
rather have him, but that's probably like an old rumor, but I'd probably rather have him a Sentry than a Silver Surfer, honestly. So Skarsgård.
yeah. I think him as Silver Surfer would be pretty interesting.
Yeah. But I think
I
Sentry.
feel like Ryan Gosling would also be a good Silver Surfer too.
Ryan Gosling could, to me, he could, but I think Ryan Gosling could be a good Johnny, not Johnny Cage. Is it Johnny Cage? Johnny Blaze. Johnny
Blaze. Oh, you want him to be Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he could play Ghost Rider, don't you? Like,
I don't know. Ryan Gosling always comes across like the silent type, like very moody and like, a bit of a thinker. So I always pictured Silver Surfer like that.
if you watch this when he was coming up and when he did all the Canadian stuff, because he's been around a while. He's not like he's been around since the 90s, right? He was Goosebumps and Afraid of the Dark, but I remember him in that TV show called Breaker High.
But he always plays but he's mostly known for moody roles.
Yeah.
Like Drive, he's again quiet. Beyond the Pines, he's very like quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not in the movie a lot, but he's very quiet in that. Blade Runner, very quiet.
I remember him from the 90s, but like when you first really noticed him, like got really, really big and got like big. Obviously, Notebook was his breakout movie, but he was young Hercules.
Right.
You know, the Kevin Sorbo Hercules, the prequel to that. I don't know if a lot of people know that he was young Hercules.
No, I don't really know.
Yeah,
I may have, let me Google it. Hold on.
yeah, he was young Hercules. Yeah, look it up. Ryan Gosling was young Hercules, and then he obviously was a member of the Titans. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I've seen this before. Yeah, I've seen him in this costume before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. It was a TV show. Yeah. Young Hercules. Yeah.
Then Remember the Titans. I remember he was in Remember the Titans, right? That was a good movie.
Love this guy.
No.
In that,
this is not a bad pick, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad pick.
I want him to play Jin.
Yeah.
And now that Warriors,
I want him
canceled,
to
he's
play
got
Jin
free
for
time on
Ghost
his
of
dance
Tsushima.
card.
Is he?
I'd be all for
Is he in the Mortal
Andrew
Kombat
Koji
movies?
playing
No,
that role. Although
he's
I'd
in
love
the
to see him in
Warrior,
the MCU in that kind of
show.
any route. Boyd Holbrook.
Yeah.
No,
I love
Boy
this
Holbrook,
actor.
that's terrible.
I really like this pick.
he's
too.
not Sentry to me.
Whether you're talking about Narcos, I thought he was great in Logan.
Yep. That's the dude right there.
He's just solid. He's got a presence on screen. He'd be
No,
really,
he's
not my number one.
come on.
But
He to be honest, like he's like low grade casting. Like he would just play
He
a
was
very
good in
generic
Spider-Man,
villain.
no. But I'll tell you one thing.
He's not a bad actor, but no, not for Sentry. man.
I don't be surprised if he's Swamp Thing. I don't know
For
what
James
else-
Gunn?
Yeah, because James Mangold. If you know,
Yeah, he's worked
Logan.
with him. Yeah, and he was in Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
For Swamp Thing?
yeah,
I'd
because
have to
James
think
Mangold.
about that.
I don't know about Swamp Thing or the person who becomes Swamp Thing, but maybe like.
Well, I
something-
mean, he would have to voice Swamp Thing, no?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm just putting connections.
I like
don't
this
know.
one.
I mean, it's kind of
Uh,
interesting.
I
But
never know how to pronounce
Nikolaj.
Nikolaj Coster.
Yeah, where's this guy been?
Waldo's? Where's Waldo?
Hmm.
Of course, from Game
No,
of
this
Thrones.
is kind
You
of.
know, the only thing
That's
I
a lame
remember seeing
casting,
him in
too.
since Game of
Oh,
Thrones
I haven't
by
seen
the
this
way,
guy-
was that rom-com.
I haven't
where
seen this guy in anything since Game of Thrones.
I wish he was. Everybody wanted him to be Joel.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he probably would have been a really good Joel, but yeah. I don't know about Sentry though.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah, he
the
seems a little
boyfriend who
too
had
old.
and the supermodel was the star of it, where he had the 3 girlfriends
Oh yeah.
all at the
That's
same
him.
time.
The 3
That's the
girlfriends.
only movie I think I remember seeing him in
He
since.
did a series with Jennifer Garner for Apple TV called The Last
That's
Thing He Ever
crazy.
Told Me.
He no. You know he was in that movie Mama with Jessica
Yeah,
Chastain.
you would. Right.
Yeah, that was a good movie, and that's the Andy Muschietti movie, right? If I remember.
Yes,
From
that's
Mom.
Andy Muschietti. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Muschietti. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's
I
not in
forgot
a
he
lot
was
of
in
actors.
that.
He looks like
He's not in most of it
He's
because
not in most
he's
of it.
not.
The last thing
It's
he
the last
told
thing
what's
he
that
ever told
actor?
Last
He
Thing
looks
Told
like
Me.
another actor.
All right.
Yeah, he does.
Next up
He
is
kind of
I
looks
don't
like
know if
Viggo
he's good for
Mortensen a little
Sentry,
bit.
Viggo
but
Am I
you
saying
put
kind
Hope
of a little
in
bit?
anything. I'd love to see him in the
Ryan
MCU.
Hurst does
Ryan
not look like
Hurst.
Sentry. This picture
Again,
does not
Who,
look like
Ryan
he was my
Hurst?
favorite character on one
Not
of my
from this
favorite
picture,
shows,
does not make him look
Ope on
Sentry.
Sons of Anarchy. I never saw the other show he's well known for that's going on. I can't remember the name.
Hey,
of it 'cause I
he's
never
He
saw
just
it.
did some
look,
Walking
he's
Dead. I know
Thor.
that.
Oh, did
He
he?
replaced Chris
Yeah.
Hemsworth.
So yeah, I would love to see him in the MCU. I don't know if Sentry's the right role for him. There's
No,
some
that's
fan
not a
art
good casting.
of
Did I just
him
see
in
that?
the role of Sentry.
Yeah,
That
that
looks like
looks.
Thor. That
Next
looks
up,
I mean, that
Keanu
looks cool,
Reeves,
but
I
I
don't
don't
see
like
it.
it.
Keanu Reeves can
I
No,
don't
they
see
gotta
Keanu Reeves.
stop.
Although, if
Actually,
you're remembering
actually,
the
another
alter
person.
ego of Sentry,
Pause.
who has some
Um, this might be a hot take, but I actually wouldn't mind Keanu Reeves as the Silver Surfer. I've seen that.
Silver
People say
Surfer,
that.
maybe, but like a Sentry? Something
Not
like
as Sentry, no. I feel like some of
Definitely
these
some
work better for Silver Surfer than they do
Yeah.
Sentry. Yeah.
substance issues.
Yeah, but
I
they
could
got to
maybe
stop
see
with
Keanu pulling
Keanu. I
that off
agree
pretty
with
well,
that.
but I don't know. I'd like to see Keanu Reeves as something else.
Charlie Hunnam. No.
Going back to Sons of Anarchy, I
No,
love the
definitely
idea of Charlie
no.
Hunnam
That's a hard
playing
pass.
Sentry. I like him a lot.
They got to stop.
Despite the fact
Why?
that he was just in that
Charlie
terrible
Hunnam
Rebel
is not
Moon
that great of an
movie, but
actor. I'm
I
sorry.
like him a lot. I think he'd be really
It's
good in
time
that.
to just come out
Anthony
and say that.
Starr, nah.
Nah, that's
on
too.
the nose.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just way too much on the
that's-
nose. So I'll put, and I love
Although,
Anthony
pause.
Starr. A big popular one going around.
My
Right.
one dream, my one hope. Okay, this will never happen in a million years. But we have to cast Anthony Starr in another comic book movie. I really hope they make a Wolf Among Us show, and he plays Bigsby Wolf. That is my only hope. Okay, I don't want him to play any other superhero. Fables is kind of like superheroes, but with fairy tales anyway.
Yeah.
But I want it to be like a HBO dark series, and I want him to be Bigsby Wolf. He just that would be fire. Go play the Wolf Among Us, by the way. Great.
You remember
game.
everybody wants to have to start to be like Reverse Flash.
Yeah, Reverse Flash or Wolverine. Yeah. I say Bigsby
Around as
Wolf.
Ryan Gosling.
But that raises the
I want
budget.
to see Ryan Gosling. If Ryan Gosling can have such, I want to see how. I'm so curious how it would look with long hair and stuff. Like, I'm curious. Very.
I mean,
curious.
he would be
That
a
cuts
cool
into the budget.
Sentry,
It
but
does raise
Yeah.
the budget.
I want to see
He
him do
is
something else.
super hot
The
right
thing
now. So
is, you're right, but I've seen Gosling do comedy. Gosling could do comedy. He
Well, he
doesn't
could
do
do
as much.
anything. He could do anything. He has range.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if they're gonna make him Sentry, you're gonna get like typical, like what he's mostly known for.
Yeah.
And I don't think if you're gonna get him, because I just said I want him as Silver Surfer for something
it's-
he's mostly known for. If you're gonna get Ryan Gosling for a role that he does extremely well, it should be a character he can play indefinitely.
Yes,
Sentry
yeah.
a one-off, I say don't do it. It's kind of a waste. Do it on a character who will actually make waves.
I feel Gosling right now, like he's a good actor, but he plays the roles too similar.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, the thing is, like
Except
he
Barbie-
does
Barbie-
a
and you
really
saw
good
Bar-
job with it.
Like Barbie is like one of the few films in the last while for Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
like,
he did
show his
something
range.
completely different.
Yeah, because we knew he had it in him, right? We knew because we seen in his earlier in his career that he has more range than just being
Right.
like what he said, the moody, serious type. We knew that.
Right.
especially coming off of Barbie. His Fall Guy movie
Mhm.
isn't going to make $1 billion or anything, but that looks really fun. So I would
That movie
and
does look
more
pretty
importantly,
cool.
an Oscar caliber
I hope it
actor.
makes $1 billion.
I could see it, but I don't think that'll be it.
Harry,
And again,
It's a
you
little
know,
on the
Yeah,
nose,
please
but-
stop with
so many
that.
people saying Henry Cavill, way too
The
much.
only
I love Henry. Obviously, everybody knows that he's my boy.
like if they will never do this, but if he was Hyperion, I think they should do that instead.
yeah,
I think that
I
makes
agree.
a lot more sense.
Harry Cavill. Here's the thing, Henry. See, here's the
And
thing.
Henry Cavill is a better villain, by the way. I feel like he's a better villain than a hero.
Man from Uncle. Was it Man from Uncle?
Yeah.
The sequel, right? Oh yeah, we don't talk about the other guy who starred in that movie.
Rip.
Yeah, like sometimes I say Henry Cavill is not the best actor at times, but he could show some. He does have some range a bit, and
He needs to play. He just let him play more villains.
yeah, I think he's a better villain. I think he needs to play a villain. Sentry's
Yeah, and if
one
he's
of
gonna be in the
those-
MCU, please just let it be Hyperion.
yeah,
Just let it
even
be.
if it's
Don't
off.
because that is supposed to be Superman ripoff, and he's supposed to be evil. It's a little bit more tongue in cheek. I think that would probably work better. I don't think they'll do that though. I feel like it's been fan cast to hell and back, but yeah. What happened to Argyle, by the way?
It's coming out. I saw when I saw Aquaman. I saw it's one of the trailers. It's coming out.
Oh, they actually put out a trailer for it. I never saw
Yeah.
it. Okay, was it a good trailer? Was it a bad trailer?
I liked it. It was a good trailer.
Okay, so is it? So I guess it is coming out in theaters then,
Yeah.
not
it is.
on just Apple Plus. Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, I hope so because they weren't showing it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no way should it be Henry Cavill. So I don't know.
Oh,
A couple of those I
ooh,
quite
you
like.
suck up
You
to
know,
him.
I like the
It
I
would be
love the Andrew
self-parody.
Koji one. I
But-
like
I want.
It would be funny,
Skarsgård.
though.
I know the parody spoof movie has gone away, but I want one to come back just to make fun of Marvel. I'm sorry, just to make fun of Marvel.
Well, that was, but that was kind of what Deadpool was supposed to do, and
I know, but I want a real one because Deadpool's gonna be canon.
yeah, I know.
Like,
That's the problem with Deadpool being in the MCU. I feel like they're
Well,
gonna hold back the punches.
what was it called? Not a superhero movie? Was that one of them back in the 2000s or something? They made fun of-
Superhero movie.
Yeah, they make fun of
Yep.
X-Men.
Yep, and
You-
Spider-Man. Yeah.
I want to know. You want to know? This is not a parody movie, but have you seen that movie with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson where they go to Silicon Valley as
Oh, is that interns?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
interns?
and then they got tricked.
Yeah.
They got tricked with the professor, the bald guy on the wheelchair. They thought
Yes.
Professor Xavier.
Bruh. What was the meta marketing for Argyle?
I don't know. Oh, Meta.
Yeah, I have no clue. I just know it was a book that only came out recently, and they turned it into a movie like super fast. I don't really understand it, but there's a lot of
It's a
actors
good
in it,
one.
too.
I like Skarsgård too. But
The Charlie Hunnam is great.
No,
Kinnaman though.
I don't know if Charlie Hunnam
No.
is really into the superhero thing though, because he turned down Green Arrow, saying, green's not really my color, and I don't think spandex is my material.
Oh, by the way, speaking of
Green Arrow doesn't
Charlie
work.
Hunnam,
Green Arrow doesn't work spandex.
do you know why? Okay, they actually came out and explained why his accent in Rebel Moon is bad.
What?
Did you know this? It was because he actually tried to do. So the accent is supposed to be really thick, right? If you
Yeah,
actually,
what's thick?
no, it was supposed to be way thicker, right? It was
Way
supposed to actually
thicker?
be. It was yeah. He said it was supposed to be more closer to. Is it like a? It's like a Northern Irish accent, and they said that it was so like the American audience couldn't understand the accent, so they actually had to dub all of it. So that's the reason why it sounds really
Yeah.
bad.
He is. I know he's English, but he's not Irish.
No, he's not Irish, no. But he said that he wanted to do that, and they couldn't, like, I guess the test audience didn't understand a word of what he was saying, so they had to change it.
It still wasn't good.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. So it's not a real book. It's a real book in the movie.
Okay, what is from I got from the trailer? The
It's a real book now, but
oh,
okay. So was that? I guess that's the meta marketing that it's not a real book. It was a book in the movie, and then they made
from the trailer.
the book
I,
from the movie that didn't come out yet. Is that
no,
what it's supposed to be, or am I?
what the movie is about?
Well, yeah. Well, the meta part of it.
Oh,
Yeah, because I mean I just saw like okay, it was based on the book that didn't come out yet, and I thought that was weird. I was like, why would you make a movie off a book that hasn't come out? Like, and no one
oh,
knows what the book is. Like the book could bomb for all we know, right?
can you imagine?
It's just
Oh,
weird.
And that could have to do specifically with just
Wait, so he
playing Green
says
Arrow.
the movie was
But
said to be based
it
on a
did seem a
book, and
little
it's
kind of like a
not.
jab at
Okay,
the superhero
Oh,
genre in
okay.
general, which is interesting given, Pacific Rim
but
and
is
Rebel
that
Moon.
part of the
yeah,
meta stuff?
all that stuff. So,
And then the book
any of
came
these names
out.
stand out to you, Chris?
Oh,
Are
the
you
book
like,
came
I
out last
really like
week.
Andrew Koji for it, and I
Okay.
really, really like Boyd for it.
Yeah,
I
Boyd.
think that one is so smart
yeah,
and
Boyd
so fun.
Holbrook's? Yeah.
He's terrifying as the Corinthian in
Oh yeah, and
in
Sandman.
Sandman. And one of the things I
The
loved
thing
about Supermoon,
is,
right, was he was going to be
boy, everyone I see him, he always has that. I know he's from that area. He's born from that area. Obviously, can't. But but as an
Right.
actor, he always has an accent, the southern accent, right? Like even in
Right.
Indiana Jones, even as a Nazi, he still has an accent, kind of, right? Like,
Hmm.
right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, if you're Century, you can't have that kind of accent. I'm sorry. Like,
I don't think he will have an accent, but even if he does, I guess like I mean, the MCU is so lax with accents. It's like
oh yeah, some of the characters forgot their accents. They had accents. It's obvious.
so the marketing sounds great on paper, hard to work by any practical measure.
If
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to look into it because yeah, it seems really confusing. Like, why did they think
if the,
like how? Why would they think that was like good marketing to market a movie that was based on a book that didn't exist, and now we got the book and
I'll tell you one thing: this movie will be better than Madame Rab next month.
we'll see about that. I mean,
Come on, movie. Like, like Doctor Doom better have an accent. Like seriously, don't have him like a normal English accent. Like some sort of Eastern European accent.
yeah, they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
All these choices for Sentry seem kind of
the
lame. No, I'm not like the
Mhm.
biggest fan of
very
them.
troubled, drug addicted version of Sentry. He was going to play the heroic Sentry, and then I really was confident in his ability to play the Void.
Oh my
I
god!
think
I'm gonna try to be careful here, but the eyes kind of match.
Hmm. Oh,
The eyes do match.
bruh.
I know, but I think like
He just would have been a good Sentry.
yeah,
So I think
I
someone like put out the potential reason why he left. It's because he was starting a production company and it was like a really personal endeavor for him. And so that's why he backed out kind of like so suddenly.
would he be the
There,
question if he would he be willing to have that hair though? Because that's a
I
lot. It's
don't
like
I don't know if he would have had that hair. Oh, could you send me the link, Degrassi,
because it
somehow? Because I'm confused. Oh, he said never mind.
looks like Thor. Like
Uh,
Sentry looks like Thor with that hair. Like it's like
can
Thor.
you send me something about Argyle? Just someone send me it because I'm actually curious. If you
Boyd
could post it
Holbrook
on Twitter or
could
whatever,
play
Boyd.
the
send it to
Yeah.
Aaron.
shit out of the Void, and he could do all those other things
Just
too. He's a world class
here.
actor, but I
Just
think this
Google
would be a
publishing
really,
mystery.
really
Okay,
amazing
thanks.
role for him in particular.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, the timing of it, because right after he steps out of the role, he wins his Golden Globe, and he's
Yeah,
going to win other awards
absolutely.
this coming award season too. What about you, Ray? You got anybody that you like? I
Zero
mean, Joel
wasted.
Kinnaman was one.
Yeah, Joel Kinnaman is like my my dream pick or whatever, or Alexander Skarsgård. But out of that whole list, I'm down with Boyd Holbrook. I think he's the one right there. Ryan Gosling, I think from what I've seen him in, his face is just like, just makes me not makes me laugh, but like I think of all the other roles he's played. I mean, I think Boyd Holbrook is my pick in that whole litter right there.
Yeah, but I think there are a lot of good names on there. And you know what? The reality is probably the best person to play the role isn't even on that list.
Yeah, because they picked Steven Yeun. Like, I mean, that was their pick. I mean, it could be anybody.
Yeah,
really.
I'll be honest
It
with
could
you.
be Terry Crews.
If they did announce Sentry's gonna be the villain, but they had no actor announced, and they had people at the top 10 list, I bet you Steven Yeun wouldn't be on it.
No, they would have all just picked a bunch of white guys though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the only Asian actor, like they only put him on that list because Steven Yeun is Asian, right?
Exactly.
But like, but if you were gonna do that, why not look for another like good Korean actor who is coming up that could actually do something interesting?
I like the Grassy so idea. Ken Jeong, wherever his name is. Ken Jeong. Ken Jeong. I love Ken Jeong. He's so hilarious. He's great. But yeah, but enough of Sentry.
Terry Crews.
You know
Why
what?
not?
I don't care.
Terry
Just leave him on the
Crews?
screen.
He's the real Sentry. Hey guys, thanks so much for
Terry Crews.
Remember when everybody
Terry
wanted
Crews.
Terry Crews for Luke Cage?
Terry Crews is in the MCU, guys. He's in Deadpool 2. And he died.
Yeah, he was in Deadpool too.
So, yeah. I heard Domino was not back in Deadpool 3. Is that true?
She's not coming back.
Yeah. Like,
Well, I don't think they said anything about her being cast in the movie, so
I know she.
I don't think she's not going to be in the movie though. That'd be pretty
I don't see
crazy.
her on. I
He
don't see
said
her on.
Tracy Morgan for a Silver Surfer. That's wild, man. That's a wild one. Holy.
Chris Tucker.
What is Tracy Morgan? Chris Tucker. That's the Silver Surfer.
Oh, I think Dom has a cameo. So Chris Tucker.
Okay.
Chris
I
Tucker.
hope she has a cameo. She should come back completely, but
She's in. I know the actress is in Joker too.
wasn't there like am I like mistaken, or wasn't there like some like horrible meme on the internet that said like Tracy Morgan was dead?
Oh.
Am I like misremembering something? And like they were like, "Oh, Tracy Morgan is dead," and like they made up this whole elaborate shit about him. He said 30 Rock is coming back. Oh,
Is it because he had that massive car crash that really hurt? Like
was it? No, that wasn't Tracy Morgan though. That was
No, Tracy
was it
Morgan
Tracy
had
Morgan?
Tracy Morgan and Kevin Hart had two car crash.
No, but there was somebody else. I want to say, was it? Hold on, was it Lawrence? Hold on, was it Martin Lawrence? Was it Martin Lawrence? I was gonna say that his opposite, complete opposite.
Martin Lawrence. Oh,
was it Martin Lawrence who was in a car accident and people were saying who was dead? Someone. I don't know why I'm mixing up Martin Lawrence and Tracy Morgan. I have no clue, but
Tracy Morgan.
yeah, I feel like Martin Lawrence like fell off a cliff. Like what was he doing
like
for
Bad Boys. Bad Boys 3 was like his really big film in years. Like
right. He was in a really bad accident a few years ago. Yeah. Okay, it was Tracy Morgan. He got hit by a Walmart. Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was
A few hundred million. Wow.
Oh wow. Okay.
Tracy.
Yeah, because I don't remember hearing because there was maybe
Oh, he got sick.
and then Martin Lawrence got sick. Okay.
Can you
Because
imagine?
I'm like, what happens to some of these actors? Like they just sort of like disappeared, and then you like would hear like people make memes and shit about them, right?
Yeah,
So it's
like
what the hell?
So
I don't know why. I don't know why people do that though. You know they did that with Chadwick Boseman, right? Do you remember that? Like people like they were calling them the Crack Panther and shit. And I was like, bro, yeah, he had cancer, and then he died. And everybody's like, oh shit, that's why he was like skinny. They're like, oh
I
man,
didn't
that's
know
messed
about
up.
this. I just knew about the accident. I didn't know much about the accident, the details.
So several comedians in a.
Yeah.
Oh, some died, and others had. Oh wow, okay, I didn't know.
I mean,
Okay.
You see, no one got attention. This like I'm gonna.
When was that? When did that happen to Gracie? Was that like? Was that like 5 years
Oh,
ago? Was it 5 years ago or more?
you know, the African American comedians are pissed off at Cat Williams.
Why? Because he told the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Cat Williams. Like the thing is, though, like it's really funny because the stuff that he said, like I've heard people say that, like just like behind the scenes, people in their own personal lives just saying random shit about celebrities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like he's not. I don't know. We all know Cat
Did,
Williams is all over the place, man. Oh, that was
we,
2014.
yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
What the
We all know
hell?
we know most celebrities pretend to be cordial, they pretend to be
That
nice
that
to
was
each
like
other.
2018. Holy, that was a decade ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know most celebrities pretend to be con- cordial with each other, nice to each other, really good with each other. But behind the scenes, they're really a lot of them don't really like
Wait,
each other.
in that interview, I'm trying to remember. In that interview, did he talk about Kevin Hart? He did talk about Kevin Hart,
He
right?
talked about Kevin Hart. I think he talked about Tiffany Haddish.
Tiffany Haddish, a lot of people. I have to be honest. Like Tiffany Haddish is not really funny. I
No.
don't. I don't really know why she blew up. I mean, the only thing I saw her in that was actually decent, and it really wasn't because of her, was what's that? Damn, it's with Eric Andre. Eric Andre made a movie, and
Hmm.
it's like Eric Andre.
I know Eric Andre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. And you know how he does like the skits on his show? So
Yeah.
he,
Yeah.
he made that into a movie. It's on Netflix. It's actually really good.
I saw that.
And she's in it. She's the sister trying to get back at her brother, right, for stealing her limo. And so she like broke out of prison. That's probably like the only good thing she was in my opinion. Um, and yeah, I also feel like Kevin Hart, he's kind of generic. Like Kevin Hart makes
Oh,
these
same.
strange movies.
He's been trying to make more serious films. He's
Like
trying.
what though?
I don't know. I've seen some serious films. He tries to be serious.
I think it's gonna get really bad with the Borderlands movie because remember he's in that. He's
Mhm.
and that's probably gonna be a joke because he's playing a character that's supposed to be like really tall and like this like soldier type. I forget his
Yeah, that's a
name.
joke. That's a joke,
Yeah, I
definitely.
forget the character's name in Borderlands, but yeah,
Because he's
it
always
has
gonna
to
be a
be a
joke.
joke.
Yeah, of course, because he's
Yeah.
short. Like, yeah,
Well, what was the other? I know this has nothing to do with it, but I'm like he said a bunch of crazy stuff. He said or like Cat Williams. Didn't he say P Diddy was like gay or something like that? He just said a whole bunch of crazy shit. Like this is why you don't let Cat Williams on any program because then he will just start saying all this stuff that is like it's crazy, but that it's probably true because he's so crazy. It's just like he just documents all this shit and keeps it in his head. He's like, I'm gonna
yeah.
use this to fucking expose people.
I
Have you
mean,
seen his stand-ups? He
I mean,
says shit like that, by the way. So
to us, it sounds crazy, but he has a better understanding of the industry he's in. So to him, it doesn't sound crazy, because we're not in
yeah,
that industry. So
I kind of
and,
wish he would talk about Dave Chappelle because I feel like Dave Chappelle has like
oh, Dave
Dave
Chappelle,
Chappelle is a massive sellout in my opinion.
yeah, he doesn't give a shit
Massive
about anything.
sellout.
He doesn't give a shit about anything, man. Dave Chappelle is all about Dave Chappelle. It's all about him.
But the thing is, like Dave Chappelle, what I don't understand is what happened. Like, why did Dave Chappelle change? Like, he's like, I'm not. He left and then he came back and he was a totally different person. Like comedy wise, he and some of his stand up, if you actually watch it, it's all recycled from his best stuff. I don't really get it. And then he says like, "Oh, I'm not gonna bring the Chappelle show back," and what the like nobody could watch the Chappelle show because he's like, I want my money and shit. But then you have quotes of him saying, yeah, he said, yeah, yeah, that's another thing too. He goes on these weird like he makes these jokes about trans people and then like he goes on this whole spiel about like how my friend is trans and why I make these types of jokes and you're like, this is weird. Like why are you first off, it's a comedy special. No one wants to hear any of this stuff. Especially if it's boring. Like it's not boring. It's like garbage trans jokes that everybody's heard, everybody's sick and tired of. They're borderline
Repeated.
offensive.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one cares. No one cares to hear any
look,
of these jokes. Like, make
you
something new. Like,
you know Russell Peters, right? From
yeah,
our neck of the woods, right? A lot of his jokes, it's a lot of community jokes, a lot of cultural jokes.
yeah,
Makes fun
yeah.
of his own culture, makes fun of other people's cultures too, but he doesn't do it in an offensive way,
No,
right? He knows the limit.
but the thing is, that's because he grew up in an area that was culturally diverse.
Yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like the jokes that he's making, there's actually like some truth to them, and that's why it's funny. But when
Yeah,
you hear Dave Chappelle talk about trans people, it's because he doesn't. I
exactly.
mean, like the thing is, the jokes he's saying, I've heard jokes like 1,000 times like that. It's not like some like new thing
Get a
he's
new,
trying to say. Like,
get a new act or something. Yeah,
I think it's because he's hanging out with Elon Musk. You know what I mean? Like when you started hanging out with Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, like
Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan is not a comedian.
He thinks he's a comedian,
Yeah,
right?
he thinks he's a comedian because he's been trying so like for the last how many years?
No,
It's probably been
here's the
like 20
thing.
years
Here's the
he's
thing.
been trying
People
to be a
don't.
comedian.
How many people do you ask if you? How many people, regular people, who ask would know that Joe Rogan was trying to be a comedian? They probably say, "Oh, you mean Joe, the guy in the podcast, or the
Yeah,
UFC guy?" Nobody knows he's trying to be a comedian. Like,
yeah, his stand-up is just
or did he?
garbage.
What did he host? What did he used to host? Was it the Fear Factor?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
The thing is,
seriously.
Dave Chappelle was not. Uh, that's so stupid that he thinks he was canceled. Because if he was canceled, why is he still
Well,
making stuff with Netflix?
If he was if he was casual, Netflix would have a new special for him.
Yeah, like I don't.
The
And on
only
top of that, he
the only show HBO, the only company, like not even Warner Brothers doesn't even cancel either, because if they would have canceled Bill Maher a long time ago.
yeah, that's another person too. Why would they cancel? No, no,
Yeah,
no, no. Oh, you said Bill Maher.
yeah, Bill Maher. Yeah,
Sorry, I thought you were gonna say. I thought you meant Bill Burr. But Bill Burr is
no,
another person who like they haven't been canceled. And
Hey,
also too, I'm not sure if you've seen recently, but Bill Burr
I
got a
think
bunch of shit because
if
of I think his wife was at a Trump rally and she was making fun of Trump.
yeah,
Did you
I
hear
heard
about
about
that?
that.
Yeah, and they were
Uh,
shitting on him, try to cancel him.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you're someone who gets people to watch your comedian special, or if you're somebody like Bill Maher on his show,
Right,
but if you get ratings, you get a lot of people. If you're doing well, you're not going to get canceled. You're not going to get
right,
canceled, right? You're not going to get canceled. Okay, you're not, because you're getting people to watch.
right,
If you're not getting people to watch, Bill Maher would be off the air. If the ratings weren't good, if the viewership wasn't good, he would not be. His show would be over with. He would not be in Warner Brothers anymore. You
right.
know, it's all about. It's all about. Um, he is kind of popular. It's all about if you're
Yeah,
getting.
they start saying that stuff now. Yeah, I did see that. Yep, yep. And the thing
Well,
is, like, I don't understand, like like I don't understand Dave Chappelle at all. Like this guy, he goes on these tangents, oh, I'm not bringing back the Dave Chappelle show because they want to milk me for they want to milk me and take my money, right? That's what he's essentially saying without saying it directly. But then instead of being like, okay, I now have this new clout, I have this new, big fan base because of Netflix. Why doesn't he just make his own show and license it to Netflix?
I don't know. That's a good question. I totally saw the light.
What happened?
Are you okay? Yeah, you were
Why
gone
did
for a
everything
second.
get dark? Hold on.
This thing is, I don't know if you're back blind. You see with comedians, with their act, they have to do a lot of research, they have to do a lot of stuff to come up with the jokes, right? And a lot of it's from experience, right? but they always keep up the news. They're always on social media. But yeah, Bill Burr. Yeah, like the thing is.
Okay, I'm back now. Yeah, so Bill Burr, Bill Burr. I mean, I don't know. Bill Burr's kind of weird. He is a weird guy. Um, I mean, sometimes he acts like an asshole, sometimes he's not an asshole. I know his thing is being an asshole, but like when someone is like playing up being an asshole versus like they are actually an asshole,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like that with him sometimes. But yeah, they always thought, oh, Bill Burr, he's like this conservative and he'll just say whatever. But it's like it's more like he doesn't care. Like that's the whole thing. It's like Bill Burr just doesn't care. Like he'll just say it as it is. But I don't know. I'm sick of these comedians going like, "Oh, I've been canceled," and blah blah blah. It's like if you have a Netflix special,
you're not canceled.
You're not canceled. Yeah, like come on. It's so ridiculous when you hear them say stuff like that. I've been canceled, and like cancel culture is like a thing. No, it hasn't. Stop lying. You're making millions of dollars. You're making more money than you ever have. Shut up.
No, man. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's not canceled.
Well, doesn't he? Am I mistaken? Doesn't Dave Chappelle have like a deal with Netflix, where he has to make like a certain amount of specials?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of comedians are on YouTube now. A lot of comedians, like, there's a lot of them. Sometimes they put the show up. Sometimes I'm just like
Podcasts.
podcast.
Every single comedian has to have some fucking podcast now.
Yeah. No, that's a new thing in entertainment, man. No matter what industry you're in, even the sports industry, like even athletes have every single athlete needs a podcast. Not every single sports podcaster needs a podcast.
But these comedians, like they're following the Joe Rogan mold.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like once Joe Rogan has been doing it for.
He's like
when did the Joe Rogan show start? Was it like 2010 or 2009, or was it 2012?
Yeah, it's one.
Let me see. It's been going on for a long time. Let me see. I'm gonna look because I'm actually curious. 2009. So yeah, it's been going on for a long time. So yeah, like he's been doing it consistently, and then it blew up. And then everybody was like, "Oh yeah, let me like just take what Joe Rogan is doing and just leech off of him." And to be honest, it's 22 because Joe Rogan, his podcast is not like he doesn't. The reason why people listen to Joe Rogan's podcast is really not because of Joe Rogan. It's because of the people he brings on.
The guests. It's always about the guests usually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more interesting because the thing is, like, if you actually listen to what Joe Rogan talks about, all he talks about is like eating elk and like getting high. That's literally it. And then he thinks it's funny. Like his whole comedy stand-up special is him humping stools and talking about how he's high all the time. Like it's juvenile. I can't even talk anymore. Juvenile. It's just so. It's like, bro, are you serious? Oh, it's man, stuff of yuck.
Like
is all I can say. Yeah, Joe Rogan is he is definitely a pudding head. I think he like
Stop.
Young Joe Rogan looks like Ezra Miller, kind of.
The Joe Rogan biopic played by Ezra Miller.
Joe Rogan just like there's so many things wrong about Joe Rogan. Like I wish he was just more self-aware. That's all I wish.
What really came bad about Joe Rogan is when the pandemic started. That's when.
Oh, when he. Yeah, pull up a young. Hold on. Pull up a video and see. I know it's late, but
yeah, I wish it ended, but I don't know. I can't find.
Young Joe Rogan does look a little weird.
Yeah, let me see young Joe Rogan. Let's see if you can see young Joe Rogan.
Kind of, yeah. The one where he has like long hair. Oh shit, this one looks freaky. Are we sure that's Joe Rogan? That does not look like Joe Rogan. What happened? Also, how tall is Joe Rogan for real? Like, I feel like no one can figure this out.
Oh my god.
Like, it's like one of the biggest jokes on the internet. It's like, how tall is Joe Rogan? He does look. I could see a little bit of Ezra Miller, definitely.
I gotta mute
with
this
long
because
hair.
I could get a hit for the copyright. But we're gonna.
He's black suit on the stage.
Let's see, young John Rogan. This is like UFC 12. So, yeah.
Half-hour comedy show. He's been doing stand-up like since he was like 21, I think.
UFC 12. What number are we in UFC now? There's young John Rogan, Joe Rogan. Man, he got fat over the years. I know he got older, but he got fat. He was skinny, huh? Oh.
Yeah, he was skinny. There's ones that are like younger than this.
Oh, I'm sure.
He doesn't even look like the same person.
No.
Yeah. The Gressy's right before that, way before that.
Let me see if I can find.
There's pictures of it.
Oh, pictures. I want to find videos.
He doesn't even look like the same person. I know we all don't look like the same person when we're like younger versus older, but like this is the same person. Like, yeah, it looks like his face is the bone structure, his eyes, his nose looks completely different.
What? Okay.
Also, I only really watch Joe Rogan when he brings on like Alex Jones or something. Or when he brings on Brendan Schaub, so I can look and like see all the dumb shit Brendan Schaub says. Because that shit is actually entertainment. What is this? This is
What the hell? Just
oh yeah, this guy. Who's the guy who runs the bald guy who runs that yeah, steroids. He's on testosterone replacement. And he has like if some people there's so much like shit that Joe Rogan gets on the internet, but like people are making fun of him because he has the signs of testosterone replacement. Like he has a bubble gut.
Look at Joe Rogan.
It's yeah, and you got what's his name? Brian Callen. Brian Callen sucks too, man. Who finds Brennan sorry, I said Brennan, Jesus. Brian Callen. Well, I mean, he's buddy with he has a podcast with Brendan Schaub.
Really? I just know him from the Goldberg show. I think I see him what other stuff I've seen him in. I don't know.
No, I don't like Brian Callen. Oh, by the way, Brian Callen is in Joker because he's friends with Todd Phillips. Yeah.
He's in the Joker?
Yes.
Where?
I think it's a dressing room scene.
Oh, I didn't recognize that.
Yeah. Plastic surgery so he can just look like his. That's wild. That's a wild comment.
Oh my god, the grass. Oh my god.
You think he got plastic surgery? That's crazy. He does look like Dana White though. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it's because his wife made him. Maybe his wife has a crush on Dana White, so he decided to.
I mean, now that you pointed out, it's so weird that it's just like.
Symptoms of CTE. I know he did UFC. I didn't know he actually did MMA. I know he commentated UFC, but I didn't know he actually.
No, he does it. He does do, yeah.
Did he fight Campea yet?
No.
Because Campea says he does MMA.
Brendan Schaub used to fight UFC.
Oh, let me tell you, all the people that like UFC, they're a bunch of dumbasses anyway. I mean, all the
Well, yeah, Brendan Shaw, he's a dumbass. So
UFC fighters are they're not the most talented people in the bunch. I'm telling you.
well, to be fair, when you get hit in the head a lot,
True, same with boxers. Yeah.
that's gonna do some hardcore damage.
It's just funny with some of the trash talk when they're being interviewed. Interviewed on TV channels, they're trash talking their opponent, and then they get something and they get the ass whipped at the end. It's hilarious.
I forget about that guy. Hold on,
Ari Shafir.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's so irrelevant. Like, yeah, I have to like remind myself about this guy. Yeah, I think one time, does he have his own podcast too? I'm trying to remember. He was roasting, I think he roasted Brendan Shaw, but I don't remember where though. But yeah, he's kind of, I always forget about this guy. He just has like a generic comedian vibe to him that he just blends into the background. Also, he's changed a lot over the years too. So, yeah.
Degrassi's older than us, so he knows the old school comedians, man. Like from the 70s and the 80s, like I'm like Richard Pryor.
Yeah, I've watched some Richard Pryor stand up, but yeah, nowhere. I'm like, that's probably like the oldest stuff that
I'm telling you, there's no black comedian that's ever as good as Richard Pryor. Maybe
close. I mean, Dave Chappelle was pretty close, but he fucked it up.
Yeah, he was.
Because you go back and
Eddie
watch some of
Murphy
that
maybe in
old
the
stuff.
80s. Eddie Murphy went away in the 80s, possibly.
Close.
Yeah. There was a good
No, the comedians now, they're not. Who's another one of Joe Rogan's buddies who like got a recent Netflix special, and I don't find his comedy all that great either. I think it's Tom. Is it Tom Segura?
Tom Segura.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He's another person who's like always on Joe Rogan's show. I don't like him. I don't like any. It's so weird. It's like also Brett is I don't really find him all that funny.
Mm-mm.
I think he's kind of a little bit sad, to be honest. Is he still like when I'm looking? I have to look through some of these people to remember. But oh yeah, me and my friends love talking about Bobby Lee though. Bobby Lee is like, but he's just falling off. Like he had so much.
He has a podcast. That's all I know. He has a podcast now.
He could do so much better, but some of these comedians, it's like they're kind of funny, but they're not that funny.
He's weird. He's one of the few from Matt TV that hasn't been taken off since that ended.
Right. I feel bad for Bobby Lee though. He should be doing a lot better, but it's just like I don't know what happened. He just like completely fell off.
Oh,
he's just doing the podcast and that's it.
Yeah.
Some of these people who always used to be on Joe Rogan's show. It's like every other day they were on Joe Rogan's show, and now like I don't think they go on all that often.
You may not want to associate with them at times.
I don't know.
Yeah, they forget.
Yeah, I agree. They're just so like preachy and like it's like, oh, like I can't make jokes anymore. Like, and what was like the first instance of it? Was it what's his name? Was it Jerry? Was it Seinfeld who started saying this stuff, and then everybody who was like the first person to come out and start saying, "Oh,
Seinfeld
this, like, woke stuff," and I can't go to colleges and.
The Seinfeld show exploited that. What Seinfeld was trying to and his acts. It was based off kind of what his acts for him and Larry David. Like Seinfeld's right. I was gonna say, if you look at the show of the late night shows, right, the monologues, they're not as funny as anymore. I say the best person late night show was Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien was the best. To me, he was funny. I still watch his clips. He's legit funny. To me, he's like, if you watch his stuff, he's really, really funny compared to the other ones. Like, I can find Stephen
Well,
Colbert
Bobby
funny.
Lee's in Borderlands.
Really? Oh. The
Yeah.
Dragon Stone? The drugstore? Oh. But
I
like,
forgot, man.
but like, to me, Conan O'Brien was the best of the late night shows. Better than like I said this. I don't find Jimmy Fallon funny. Okay.
No, I don't find Jimmy Fallon. I don't even know who finds Jimmy Fallon funny.
No.
Can we find one person who thinks this?
Jimmy Kimmel used to be funny, not anymore. Stephen Colbert.
I don't know. Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert could be funny at times. I mean, and then you got Seth Meyers, and I don't even think
Seth Meyers is mid.
Yeah, Seth Meyers
Just
is
mid.
I don't even think James Corden left, right? Because his show he left. James Corden's an asshole in real life, but I don't even think he has. I don't even think they're doing a show anymore. I think that show's canceled.
Well, yeah, you might be right. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that show.
Conan O'Brien was the best of them.
It's like I really don't get it. Like, what happened to the comedian? What happened? Like someone needs to do like a deep dive video essay into this, because it's like we can list so many comedians, but like none of them are like, oh yeah, like we have to watch them, right? It's more like, I guess they have some good jokes, but it's not like they're like this clever genius. Like this is another thing too. Have you noticed? I'm not sure if you noticed this. Maybe Degrassi has seen this. But do you notice all these comedians also think that they're like writing geniuses and think that like all their material just like is all hits? And like if there's a miss, it's because the audience is stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, like they like talking like that on their podcast. They like saying, oh, like I just got all these jokes and I'm writing like, and you're like, who though? Like, what jokes are you writing? You're recycling shit. You're stealing from other people. Like,
oh, they steal all the time.
Yeah, they do steal all the time. Podcasts happen. Yeah, you're right.
Like
that would be a really good video. That would be a really good video.
Like,
finding the downfall of comedians.
Like,
Someone's got to do it.
Conan O'Brien is so like he's a guy that you wouldn't hang out with, right? So generally, because most comedians are really assholes, are really jerks.
Yeah. Well, they have, the thing is like they have to be for the comedy of it.
But Conan, and even in real life, they are, right? They have to, right?
Yeah, that's probably just because
I don't think Conan O'Brien does not give me the vibes that he's like that. He's not like that.
The pandemic, yeah, they also love complaining about the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
But even I feel like comedians who are like much older, like they're not the new wave of comedians, they've also fallen off too.
The young
right?
wave
Like they have like a stinginess to them, like they feel salty or something.
The young wave comedians these days, you're so careful what kind of jokes they say. They usually go with the sex jokes because you can get away with it more than the race kind of jokes.
That's what a lot of the female comedians like to do. They always go for the sex jokes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. Since the pandemic, there's been a lot of podcasts popping up because obviously couldn't go anywhere.
Degrassi in that order: podcast sponsorships, pandemic, coming out of the pandemic. Like, what's the next trend going to be? Is it going to be the 2024 election? Something else?
AI comedians.
AI comedians might be funnier. What happens if that? That's the thing. I mean, we'll be fucked.
Back?
Oh yeah, we forgot about that. Oh my god. I feel like we should just have a show where we just talk about how crappy comedians are. And just continue, like have our own podcast, and then we fall into that same trap of podcast sponsorships and then another pandemic. Oh my god. It's a mess out there. It's a mess.
It's funny too, right? Like, yeah, now like everybody's getting involved with podcasts and YouTube now. Like everybody, sports, comedians, actors, actresses, everybody, musicians.
But it's not interesting though. That's the problem.
No.
It's more like they just. I don't know if it's like.
I'm telling
Is
you,
it because they live in a bubble or something? Because all these
they're
podcasts,
boring as hell.
it's just them talking about their like lives or like, some stupid bullshit take. But it's not like anything like, oh,
Funny.
I need to really listen to this. You know what I mean? Like this is like
Most of
bleeding
them,
edge and super, funny. It's not.
most of them are boring as hell. Boring as hell.
Yeah, they are boring as well. Oh, we gotta roast some other people someday. Because
Oh,
all I got is I just love roasting Brendan Schaub. Like Brendan Schaub is the one person who I just don't understand. Like, how did that happen? Like, and he's like falling off even quicker than he rose. It's like I don't know, man. It was almost like like if you were friends with Joe Rogan, you were going to get a comedy special somewhere. You know what I mean? Like if you just kissed his bald head in the
I
right
just bumped
place, you would be on cloud nine right
it.
now.
Bump his bald head for good luck.
Yeah. Like that's why I think they were all on his show, like they
Oh,
were
the cloud off him.
yeah, they were like, we gotta get the cloud off him, put it onto us. Some people it did work, like they just blew up.
Yeah.
And also another thing too that's funny about Joe Rogan shows is when he actually has people on that are funnier than him, he never gets the joke.
I remember some comedians when they some comedians, right, when they didn't do podcasts, obviously they had to stay in during the pandemic, the early part of the
Right.
pandemic. And some comedians, they try to do jokes, like try to do their jokes and they get people on YouTube and stuff, right? But it's not the
Right.
same because you really don't have a live crowd to laugh at it.
Right.
It is, right? And but yeah, so they had to do podcasts, talk about stuff, which is you realize how boring comedians really are.
Yeah. I mean like Joe Rogan. Like Joe Rogan like has a 2-hour podcast about his diet.
Fuck
Like
cares.
every day he just talks about like random stuff. Trying to get who hold on. I'm trying to some of these names, like you gotta put a face to it.
We need
Oh
personality.
yes. Yeah. This guy, the guy who was
Shane
yeah.
Gillis.
He was kicked off of SNL, right? This is the guy, right?
Oh yeah, I remember the guy got kicked off SNL. Yeah,
Yes. This okay. Yes. There was that.
I remember that.
He's trying to follow Bill Burr?
Is he?
Because he went on. He was actually on Joe Rogan, and yeah, and that episode was also kind of funky.
I mean, SNL's not even funny, man. So
I
SNL.
mean, yeah, he got. The thing is, though, he got fired from SNL. Was it for like a some? It was like one tweet. It was really weird.
Real sassy, yeah.
Hold on, let me go see. Also, that's really weird that they would fire him in it. Oh, it was actually just this September. Oh, okay. I thought it was
Oh, really?
longer. Okay, I thought that was like
I remember Real Sasso. I'm just gonna say
I
this.
thought it was the beginning of last year.
Yeah, it was the Asian joke. It was like last year or the year before.
Yeah.
Something like that. I remember. I'll just say this: Scarlett Johansson's husband is not It's not funny.
Scarlett Johansson's husband?
Colin Jost, SNL.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
no.
Who did you do the weekend update skit?
No, I don't really watch SNL, but
Good. It's not funny. It used to
It's
be
not
funny,
funny.
man. It used to be funny when they had Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon was funny. Okay.
it
Leslie
was a
Jones.
okay.
Leslie Jones was funny. But like they lost the funny. Bill Hader was funny on it. Okay, Bill Hader was on it, right? If I remember.
On SNL, yes, he was.
Okay. Tina Fey was funny. Amy Poehler. Like, we could go back. Like, it feels like I don't know. It feels like it got too political. Too political. I feel like
I just feel like they kind of like toned it down and they didn't
Yeah.
know what to do. And then they also like were they had all these skits and like they got really ambitious and I don't
What was
know. It's just too much going on.
what was the last SNL produced movie? Because they used to produce movies, right?
Yeah, what was the last movie? Probably something really crappy in that. Let me see.
Because they used
SNL
to do a
movie.
lot of them in the 90s, right? They used to do a lot of movies in the 80s and
Remember
90s.
Conehead?
Coneheads. Adam Sandler movies or some SNL movies.
Coneheads is fucking awful. My God.
Oh, what was also Mike Myers?
Yeah, Wayne's
Wayne's
World.
World.
Wayne's
Yeah.
World.
Wasn't National Lampoon SNL or was that just Chevy Chase one? No, Chevy Chase was SNL for 1 year.
No,
that was just 1 year. Yeah, Chevy Chase. Nobody liked them. Nobody liked them. God,
Blues Brothers was SNL.
Oh yeah, the first one was a great movie with from the 80s. Yeah,
Could you believe this? Hold on, this is crazy.
Night of Roxbury.
The Blues Brothers. Jeez, I'm.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay, it's late. It has a 72 on Rotten Tomatoes.
72. The first Blue Brothers is amazing.
That's crazy.
The one with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd from 1980. That was a great one. And then they did like Blue Brothers 2000 with John Goodman, I think.
Yes.
Night of Roxbury is an amazing movie. That's a fun movie.
2000s, yeah. That one has a 46.
But this is a great movie, Night of Roxbury, with Chris Cadden and Will Ferrell. Great movie.
So was the last SNL movie 2010.
Which one was that?
McGoober.
Oh, McGoober, yes.
McGoober.
Oh, with what's his name? Shit. He's actually pretty funny. That actor's actually pretty funny though. I would say he's funny.
What's his name?
Oh, I know, but we know who he is. Shit.
The main actor?
Yeah, McGooger. We know who he is.
Will Forte.
Will Forte.
Yeah, Forte.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually funny. Like, that's a Kristen Rigg, right?
Val Kilmer's in that movie. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Kristen Rigg too. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was the last one. That was like 2010, man. That was like 2009, 2010. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That's 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Will Forte, yeah. Yeah,
they made a comeback with that movie McGruger, right? They had a TV series or a show like a year ago.
Did they?
I think they did. I think I forget who, but I think there was they did make a comeback for a TV show.
Interesting.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, how do we know, Degrassi? We're never gonna see it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's yeah, didn't they release the still? Was it the still of him?
Oh.
With a Wiley Coyote.
Peacock.
They're gonna release it because they put out the image of it.
This is why we couldn't see it.
Oh, it's on Peacock. Yeah, but we don't have it here.
Yeah, freaking Canada. Get some. We don't have Comcast or Universal, but yeah, like SNL, man.
By the way, I'm looking at the movies that entered public domain. Holy shit! There's a lot of fucking classic movies that entered public domain.
I can't wait to the horror movie for Mickey Mouse. It's also fun as hell.
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat Willie.
I can't.
But like the Man Who Laughs, that's pretty
Willie.
crazy.
I can't wait till Willy Wonka becomes public domain.
That's gonna be a while.
But you know what? You know what a Willy Wonka movie should have really been? It should have been a horror movie. It should have been Willy Wonka selling souls to the devil, and the Oompa Loompas were little demons. What?
When did the book come out? Hold on, I have to check.
The 70s or 60s, I don't know, 50s.
Oh, was it really some? Oh,
yeah.
Hold on, let me. I just want to see.
We don't know. We don't. I don't think we get. I don't know. That's like a question. We know Craig.
No, the content is weird. It's like, I think like whoever gets the rights, they like probably have to like outbid each other because Twisted Metal was on Paramount Plus for us.
Yes,
but
we get that.
But there was another. Hold on, let me see what other show. Because Peacock doesn't have a lot of shows that I can think of off the top of my head.
Because the first Willy Wonka movie, the Charlie Chocolate Factory, the Willy Wonka Charlie Chocolate Factory, that movie was about lessons and showing lessons about each kid, by why Charlie was chosen because he was so humble and nothing really. He didn't care about the other kids. He saw the fat kid who was always eating. He saw the spoiled, wanted kid, the lazy
Right.
kid.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
So like yeah, Twisted Metal, because I'm looking at it now. Twisted Metal was on Paramount
Peak
Plus,
Paramount Plus, yes.
and then the Continental was on Amazon. The TED Show is on Showcase. Is it Showcase?
Showcase, you could probably watch it on TV. It's on
Yeah,
Showcase.
they're all like distributed weirdly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because there was also that show I'm looking at now that was with what's his name? Oh my God, he looks so goofy, but he's actually not that bad. He's actually kind of funny. What's his name? What's his name? Like I see his face and I'm like can't say his name.
From
You
where?
know he dated Ariana Grande and he's in the Suicide Squad and
Pete
he gets
Davidson.
shot in the Pete Davidson. Yeah.
Which football
He
is
has a
Night Live.
show. He has a show that's on Peacock that
Yes.
I think it's on Showcase too.
Yeah, it's on
think.
Showcase. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It was yes, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Does Pete Davidson have specials? Am I like
Not on Netflix. I
mm,
haven't seen it on Netflix.
does he have he hold on. Does he? He does. He
Mhm.
does. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Oh, really? I didn't see. Oh, well.
I wonder if is it good or trash? We'll have to see.
Pete
When was
Davidson
that?
dates every woman.
Yeah, I don't really like is it like some I guess it's just he's really funny. It's really
I
funny
also
and I think
think.
he's really tall. I think
I also think
really it.
what I think attracts them him is his depression too.
He just has a really dark sense of humor. Is he
Yeah.
really tall? Hold on, like I thought he was
Well,
like
he
6'2"
does
or
say he
something.
suffers from depression and stuff like that, and I think that does kind of and that could affect his
He says
attitude.
some a lot of dark shit.
Yeah, I
Did
think
you
that.
hear the one
Yeah,
about his dad? Oh, he has a new
yeah,
Netflix
yeah,
special.
yeah.
Okay.
He'll play Stacy does suffer from depression, stuff like that, and sometimes that could attract women. You know,
I mean,
that could
he's not
attract.
that bad. He should be in like bigger roles, I feel like.
Yeah,
Actually, he wasn't that bad in he was in Transformers.
but to be honest, a lot of comedians are like that's not exactly the happiest people.
No, I mean you kind of I mean it makes sense, but
There's a reason why Robert Williams loved to entertain in front of people, but when he's alone and stuff, you got that whole
yeah, he
different
was
real side.
depressed.
Same with Chris Farley. Um, that's true too. That's true too.
Oh
Because
yeah, that's the joke that they have going on. Yeah.
yeah, but if you're rich and
But
famous
he
already,
said I mean, do we believe it or not? Maybe he's
well,
trying to
I
be
don't think it
humble.
matters. I don't think it matters if you're famous, rich, and wealthy. I don't think it doesn't matter how big your member is. You're gonna get any woman.
It's it was funny though.
I mean,
That was going
there's
around.
ugly, wealthy men could get a hot woman if they have money,
Hmm.
right? He probably uses a pump.
Wait, by the way, I just read because I was looking at a post. Is the Mandalorian movie coming before the Ray movie?
It might be filming one at the same time.
Okay, but it's also but the Ray movie is not episode 10.
No, not episode 10. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should go out. I'm tired, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. I still have to work on something.
Thank you for coming on, guys. Like, share, subscribe. I didn't realize we're still streaming. It's like almost 4 hours.
Well, Degrassi was here entertaining
Yeah.
us, so it's
Yeah,
like
let's do it. Thank you,
we had to
Degrassi.
continue.
Thank you, Degrassi.
Bruh.
This is
Poor
true
women have to
too.
get a woman if they yeah.
Bye, guys.